VSPO, VSPO itu yang Arab, pokoknya dari Arab dah. IO yang kemarin tuh. Apa itu PGS ya? Tahu. Lupa bang. Settingan output OBS ya harusnya. Mau bitrate-nya 20.000 juga. Settingan outputnya salah. Sama aja.
Masalah bikubik yang gitunya juga ngaruh. Lencos bikubik.
Nah kalau OBS baru nggak pakai itu tuh.
Emang iya?
Iya. Kalau lu ratio 1920 udah pasti apa lankos otomatis nggak bisa disetting.
Nah, iya, kok nggak ada ya?
Ya kan? Ya kan?
Iya.
Nggak bisa dipencet kan? Nah.
Iya. Baru sadar.
Kecuali lu ganti outputnya itu. Lu outputnya lu ganti baru bisa dipencet-pencet.
Outputnya di
1920 udah.
Ini kode setting doang ya? Wah ada ya, ada di videonya, Beat. Cuman ya itu nggak muncul lencosnya doang. Downscale filter adanya.
Resolution match, no downscale filter, recruit no downscaling.
No. Tim Indo yang mana bang? Tuh yang lagi on top, anjing. Nyaman betul. Yang lagi tuh demun.
Naik bot nggak sih tuh? Bang moderator suruh. Gue nambah apa namanya? Comments baru. Indonesia terus nama tim 4-nya.
Oh, ditambahin itu ya berarti ya? Ya ada yang
tapi nggak pakai tanda seru gua.
Iya.
Indonesia. Ada kata orang ngechat Indonesia udah pasti muncul langsung. Ting naik bot.
Lu nggak sih jadi moderator gua dulu terus lu pasangin? Gimana?
Ya, gua harus alt tab sekarang ya.
Adanya Caca. Apa yang lu harapin dari Caca anjing? Coba.
Ya. Minta
si manja itu.
Gitu.
Iya.
Minta saran dia, Bang, saran.
Coba ini gua remehin siapa tahu trigger ya kan. Sebenarnya itu trik gua.
Betul.
Tanda seru, adcom.
Ini ada works tuh di Discord pas.
Ada Babang Sat.
Oh, ada Babang.
Siapa aja emang Indo? Tuh. FTF, UNC, Forpic, sama AHA. Jangan anjing, ntar AKH lagi. Buh, kena bah terakhir. Wih ada gerian sekarang. Tiba-tiba muncul semua moderator.
Gitu. Emang harus di-trigger.
Trigger galuh tuh muncul tuh.
Pure kompe.
Big G tuh. Tuh. Udah. Nice Big G. Emang Bang Pras ini andalan ya.
Iya Mas G. Tanda seru Edcom.
Udah
Spasi Indonesia.
Makasih.
Cuma satu yang bisa lolos PGC, moga yang masuk, amin. One call, cuman bisa one call Bang Han. FTF kemungkinannya itu 9,99990%. Itu sulit.
Jangan pakai tanda seru, tapi tanda seru juga nggak apa-apa dah.
Probabilitas yang paling gede one call.
Nah itu. Wah,
woi Big G 10 membership mantap.
Ada top 4 poinnya.
Respect Big G.
Tapi
udah kerja ngasih ya kan?
100% kalau nggak salah lolos PGC.
Apa? EX.
Nah.
Mantan kan, si mantan.
Extraordinary ditanya. Depri.
Nah, pas lah yang ngetik Indonesia atau tanda seru Indo ada ya guys ya jawabannya. Mantap. Dengar-dengar yang nge-watch party dapat 10.000 uji koin nih, Bang Gilang. Enggak ada ya, Bang Gilang.
Bentar lagi tuh.
Dipalak.
Indo official centang.
Dipalak aja dulu.
Tapi lagi gawe dia di sebelah.
Oh iya.
Lagi gawe dia. Di sini adanya Bang Han. Dari pihak admin IO.
Tapi emang real adminnya bang, cepet dulu nggak sih bang? Validasi.
Di drive boy cok, woi. Gila.
Waduh.
AP bro, ditabrak-tabrak bro.
Buset,
Bro.
jadi tahi bro. Buset,
Pas banget ini.
pas banget sih emang. Ini Indo banget nggak sih emang momentumnya?
Ini
Kalau begini nih,
turnamen Indo banget sih ini bro.
parah sih ini.
Kalau udah 4 gila itu.
Iya, dia ngeratain siapa tuh berarti?
Antara VIP atau
VIP atau
bandot.
Bandit.
Bandot.
BNDT VIP mati di Busansa.
BNDT apa sih?
Tri 4-4-nya bro. Gokil.
Nge-cheat anjing. Ini sih udah fix ya.
Salut. Fix ini.
Gak sia-sia dia jok sampahnya dikurang-kurangin dikit ya. Agak membantu mungkin. Apa justru semakin sampah semakin OP?
FTF siapa aja Beat. Langsung dijawab sama adminnya. Ini mau gua kasih lihat facecam FTF. Hanya mulu. Nah dari tadi nih capek gua jawabnya. PD, Delta Mix, RDK Bos, sama Ari. Man.
Tapi lu tahu kan trik kenapa segacor itu, Bit?
3 match. Mainnya sama siapa tuh bang?
Lah kemarin main 1 match sama gue itu, gue ajarin ilmu dari 2009 tuh, dari PB tuh ilmunya tuh.
2009.
Iya dari 2009
Dari
bro.
Losaga.
Dari PB terjun ke freestyle, Losaga, Dragones semua.
Ninja Saga bang, Ninja Saga bang.
Ninja Saga udah pasti pakai cheat dulu ya kan. Cheat engine dulu biar nggak gawe.
Mas tapi yang Indo ini ada streamer nggak? Kebetulan cuman gua sama Fandra Octoramonth bang. Nah
Delta
sepuh,
Mix
bang.
pernah streaming di Facebook?
Ya, enggak kayak yang watch party maksudnya bang.
Oh, yang
watch party gua sama sepuh Fandra Octoramonth bang.
Kebetulan memang gak ada anggarannya jadi kita sih ikhlasnya yang nonton.
Iya. Kalau yang stream anak-anak PUBG Indo sih banyak bang. 5
15 sama yang komunitas.
Monty nice matiin juga nih EXO for Piggies, let's go.
Trik dapat
Kasih main Kalps mati lagi Kalps.
Trik lagi gacor deh ini. Gak sia-sia dia main sematch sama kita nih.
Bisa lah nambah Maspet. Wah Maspet kayaknya kalau watch party kagak dah, dia sibuk bang ngurus debay.
Calu mah parah, Ca.
Bisa sih kalau masuk
Idris gitu mulu. Idris lu terima gak sih Idris kayak gitu?
Waduh trik. No.
Laporin sih.
Aduh. Bunuh Dok. Aduh. Nice Dok. Nice Nando.
Nice. Tenang Dok, tenang.
Chill.
Jerok!
Kena Cok. Kena beneran.
Kena yang tadi.
Kenok itu. Kena bang.
Pantesan dia masukin lagi bomnya ya.
Itu Nando nggak sadar masih.
Iya, makanya dia ngebom kayak
Gila. Iya.
Hah?
Ada muncul, Gila bro, one call bro.
One call ONC, C-nya cheat guys ya.
Siapa yang kabur? Aimbot.
Jing, dua diratain sama mereka.
Sadar, udah muncul orangnya. Lu binatang ya?
Ketinggalan apa nih guru?
Gila bro, one call gacor bro.
Gacor bro.
Denger sih kan bro.
EXO HP tusun bro.
Di inspect dah kawan kita bentar lagi bro.
Delaynya lama, iya cok, delaynya 15 menit. ONC kill EXO sama bandit apa BNDT nggak tahu. Cheat Nando, ada Ari juga. Semua aja bang yang main muncul di sini.
Bukannya PE tadi bang? Rata.
Oh iya PE deng.
Kenapa jadi EXO dah?
Oh, EXO mati sama 4Pgis. 4Pgis salah bang. Sama-sama Indo, ingetnya.
Terus BNDT sama VIP siapa tadi yang bunuh?
VIP dibunuh Busansa pokoknya. Kalau BNDT baru mati sama ONC, Onyx. Salah ya.
Onyx ya.
Nanti muncul Bang Onyx di sini.
Kebetulan baru juara MPL ya.
Wah, panik deh.
Birit yang dapat bro. Nyayur banget nih. Ini Indo guys, passing home. Apa?
Flow itu siapa ya?
Gua tahu.
Yang famous itu.
Oh,
yang
Karena ping, oh iya bener cok.
Tanda seru Indo sama Indonesia ada guys,
Delete,
aman.
Nah, Indo kan pingnya 1000.
Kenapa? Oh iya, pelornya ya.
Iya,
Pelor goib
yang pingnya
aja.
lama. Delay berapa? 15 menit biasanya Wood.
Oh, tembakan Nando tuh.
Pas banget ada IO-nya nih.
Langsung
aja tanya.
Trees. It's not really dense in leaves that you can hide behind. Instead, it's quite open. One of the few on this map where that is the case. Roman Kill will be absolutely happy with, and so will Panic.
Hah? Di PUBG Indo official 1000.
Going on between Irrelevant and Titan Foxy all the way down to the south here. Looks like Irrelevant. Do they have it up?
Twitch rame lah kan global.
He's finished them
Gimana
off.
sih? Bosen mereka main mau nonton.
One of the teams coming out of the round of 32. One of the midfield.
Vietnam
OCs
udah ada
looked
turun
like
ya,
threat. Rarely can
Apa?
I say that
Lama
a
kalau
midfield
Vietnam
OC
turun
looks like
Cina
a
turun.
threat, in a lobby like we saw in round of 32, but they did. They looked like they were playing the game.
Kayaknya
Kan
diedit
nggak
aja
maksudnya
Big G.
nggak di-
Indonesia
di
jadi Indo deh, Big
global
G.
Twitch gitu lah maksud gua, Wok.
Jadi yang ngetik Indo itu udah auto kejawab nggak sih?
Karena mereka udah follow ada muncul di HP.
Tim Indo yang mana bang? Langsung muncul jadinya, jangan Indonesia, Big G. Edit kom apa sih namanya? Ngubah tanda seru tuh gimana sih? Gue aja nggak tahu.
Bukan dia lagi yang dapat. Bukan dia lagi yang dapat.
Lah, iya juga ya.
Kira dia dapat. Cuman.
Bukan
Enggak, dia aja nggak sadar kalau itu kenok tau.
Karena dia nggak tahu itu
Iya.
temennya dapat. Di sampah pula.
Bad day aja.
Ramen gitu.
Nah ini temennya dibunuh juga nih. Kenapa? Oh DC. Nicknya langsung hilang.
Biasanya langsung cabut.
Delete komen yang tanda seru Indo sama yang Indonesia, bikin baru yang Indo doang tanpa tanda seru. Jadi tiap ada orang yang ngomongin Indo tuh langsung muncul gitu bang, ya kan?
Aduh TD.
Delkom Indonesia, Delkom tanda seru Indo, bikin yang Indo. Ya nggak sih?
Ada.
Gitu ya. Seru gua ada Bit? Ada bang. Oke.
Ada.
Nice.
Di Discord ada siapa aja, Bit? Ada gua, ada Dev, ada Okto, ada teman rasa pacar, Opal, ada Bowo. Admin Scream yang sekarang udah
Udah teriaknya doang berarti.
Iya. Scream. Bukan Scream lagi.
Don't blame Tanax for sitting in the spot they did, because where else did they go? They run up the hill, they just get eviscerated anyway. Lots of action about to happen on this.
Pemainnya siapa aja? Ah! Cari sendiri.
Good for Fury. Panic also in a good spot.
Oh ada Bit, tapi bukan nonton ini, bukan nonton PCR.
They are 3 and
Apa?
losing one.
Nonton
It's got a lot more
streamer
impact
Cina
than
nih.
Some people might think. I feel like there's going to be two isolated fights that happen here. Red Sea, they're probably going to opt to go north rather than heading south here.
Sepil kirim di
Getting quite close, and then we're
di
obviously
ini
gonna have
nggak sih
this
biar
Titan
gua mau
Foxy
AFK di HP
one-call fight. Titan Foxy,
biar dapat drop.
showed up. He did peek his head over towards the south. He's
Gimana drop apa?
out.
Nggak tahu dapat baju biasanya.
No, but if he helps one call
Kirim
here,
di Discord gua aja lah, di chat santuy.
then he could be
Mantap.
the one that sets Red Sea up for destruction, allowing one call to wrap around.
Dia dapat jaket keren juga.
Already coming in,
Ini ONC sih gila banget ya, gue liat ya.
worried about
Iya,
that. I think
ini
he's
11 anjing.
Map dia kah?
kind of doomed.
Map
His
dia kah?
Emang gak sia-sia mainnya tuh di Taigo mulu. Ini juga FTF lagi gacor juga gue liatnya. Mulai.
Can't get to the fight probably at this point now, doesn't want to get there at all. Although he might eventually just be forced into fighting
Ya,
regardless though
kabur
against
kemana,
FTF.
kabur kemana.
Ya dibegal bang.
Nah, gila 12
Gila
bro.
bro.
Gacor banget ini
Tiga
ONC.
tim
Udah happy banget
udah.
nggak sih? Ready banget masih PGC nih. Iya.
Dapat lagi.
Dapat Ari dia. Pelan-pelan Bang Nando.
Bang, kan komen Indonya belum dimasukin, Bang.
Iya.
Nah, itu baru Big G. Nah, coba ketik Indo, guys, ketik
Ini
Indo.
Bang Kens main di itu Pubg Bang Indra Kens.
Nice. Nice beat. Masa dia main dari Shopee?
From the future have made
Oh,
top 6,
cepet
but
lagi.
haven't got a lot of kills from this game, and Jimber
Morbid ya, guys.
gets the knock onto Daltomix. One call, continue to just farm 14 kills. No other team in this lobby has had more than 5. One call have 14.
11 kill, bro.
Gila 15 kill tuh.
Tuh sistem aja sampai bingung tadi 14 15.
Fury wants to put a stop to it.
Sampai bingung, bro.
This pretty well, to be honest with you.
20 kill, let's go Kak, 20 kill.
Ini yang beton sisa Fury doang nih. Bisa sih harusnya.
Do, jangan mati zone, Do. Kasih ONC lah, Do.
Right now is behind them.
Do.
Fury
Kompe dia.
Aduh, mati zone.
Ini nambah Raka 16,
early game
habis itu
3,
Fury
but
4,
wiping
20.
one call out and making them
Nambah satu
unable
lagi.
to get like a nice 20 kill win.
Pokoknya
is
12 ini
vital
di
for
kill
Fury.
ONC semua.
They are direct
tiga dah.
competitors, but Fury have decided not to
Ini
push
kan
too hard,
16.
which, I mean,
12-nya
as
lagi
three,
ONC
it
nih
can be
habisin.
hard to justify it. You could just
Dua
throw
Kok Nando nggak pakai SSC sih? Gua kecewa banget ya.
22.
Anjing.
when
Eh,
one call might end
27.
up damaging themselves later down the line.
shit,
Kens
lagi.
could get a cheeky flush, and then Fury.
Gila.
Kan ini
His
lobby
position
A, Bang,
is
tau.
fantastic.
Lobby A nggak ada
Bercanda.
ini, nggak ada
Bercanda, Bang.
Oh, kira ada.
Ya lagian aneh banget, Bang. ONJ tapi ada SSC-nya gimana?
Fury looks like they might.
Loh, dia pun udah keluar clan, Bro.
Udah, ngamanin.
Keluar klan.
Yeah, I
You
think
can see them pushing
Wah,
out. so-
Mereka mau full
Oh,
clan
and
ONC
crates as well. Forgot to
kemarin.
mention
yeah, they've got every crate under the sun. I mean, it's
Oh,
been
udah main
actually
ini.
ridiculous, the double crate
Player
drop over there, but I
yang
think
main
that
udah nggak ada muncul lagi di
Fury,
live
they'll
chat.
be pretty content with the way the circles played out, because you know that they like to play the space game and play map control game. They can kind of do that from the south side, and I think that the hope will be that that one call will
emang.
creep to the north.
Lagi dapat banget, bro.
Dapat lagi.
And Panic will
Gila.
be third party. The goal for Fury is to kind of be the last
Tapi
team
kok ada ular nih?
that
Apa gimana nih?
eventually pushes in, and then they get to
Oh,
kind
enggak
of
deh.
be the final
Gua kira
third
deket.
party, so they don't necessarily
Nice,
probably
Bang.
care too much. Obviously, there's question marks though about the visibility of their location.
Ini Aseng Home tuh yang kemarin Aseng Cup kan?
Playing below if
Iya.
there's that terrain that has a bit of higher
Karena
elevation,
timnya
looking
dia
down on them.
atau
We
nama
saw
tim
Samoy
dia
already
itu brand
taking some shots to
Nggak
bring
boleh.
Fury to their
Nggak boleh.
location.
Kalau nggak ada
It's
sponsor,
it's
ya.
a matter of what one call do
Ganti
from here.
ke
It's a matter
Aseng.
of what the Panic do
Aslinya
from
apa emang
there.
brandnya?
Because there's a world in which Fury end up being the meat and
Nutrisar.
sandwich if Panic and one call
Nutrisar.
Minuman,
push to
Bang.
their position.
Oh, bisa lah Nutrisari
Like
padahal.
Fury's gonna be quite limited unless they just get people sending it straight at them.
Waduh, salah rotasi, Bang.
Aduh.
Salah rotasi, Bang.
Panic and
Aduh,
Micah combined.
Cimoy
That is great.
kena
But
trade kill.
work's not over yet. I just feel like Fury aren't going to have much to do here. It doesn't look like they have the
Bahaya
space.
nih Fury
They have
ya.
the space that they have, but I don't think they're going to get any more.
Yeah.
Hiker's now he's having to leave space as well to get the res on Nico. You can see that that peak just over from where the res is happening right now. Looks like one call might be able to peek over that, look towards Fury. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Mean the
Ada sih
sandwich,
quick drop
absolutely
PUBG.
not
Mana?
good. But they will play it to survive. They'll play it just to chill.
Eh, channel
Indo timnya
Twitch-nya
apa aja
bot
langsung
bagi-
dijawab Neckbot.
Channel Twitch.
Mampus.
Again, it's
Apa?
two of the
Iya, channel
Bentar,
Twitch-nya.
bentar.
teams that found consistency to start. The PCR
Oh, dari mana, bot, ah?
knocked Samoy. Again,
Kabur
one
kan?
call just continue to dominate in this game.
Where
Able to find these
Jexy?
angles and hit
Ah,
these
apa lu
shots
gitu,
on such a
Eng?
consistent basis, and already, of course, with no Luke 12, Cal needs to find a way to get revived. Smokes to go out
Ah?
imminently by Fury to just block a lot of line of sight.
Rata ini, rata ini.
Pas.
By suspect, the follow-up
Nice.
confirms the work.
Nice,
Gimana
bro.
dapat satu ya?
Samoy, of course, got that
Lumayan.
point too.
Lumayan, lumayan,
Lots
lumayan,
of
lumayan.
big nades.
Oh,
Fury
bisa
going
nih
for
20, Cok.
and one
21.
will have a
Ya
chance
sini.
to really
21 nih.
Chicken lah ini bisa.
second half of the night.
Bisa
Kecuali-
ini, bisa banget.
But it's
Zone
really good
dapat
signs
sama
for
mereka
one
tuh.
call.
Wuh.
Makes you
Gila.
wonder, what if Fury had Luke? Would they have pushed one call? Would one call no
Eh,
longer have
lagi
been a threat?
nge-push
Fury
orang,
had all this space
beh?
to maybe
Itu
defend.
Kasih
awalnya
tahu,
Ibu
Trix.
nggak tahu kalau brand baru ketahuan pas gua bilang kalau nggak bisa bermasalah
But from
tuh.
that spot,
Cok.
I don't think they were able to do much. I thought they were just going to be limited, but it looked like the angles were way
Oh
too
iya,
open.
orang
They
luar
had
kan
no
nggak tahu
chance
itu
to
ya brand ya.
survive.
Nggak tahu.
Happy days for Panic. 4
Ganti
kills.
aja jadi
Untungnya ada admin
Nutri.
Indo.
Then
Nutri.
one Panic.
Ah,
Sitting in that compound. Now it's the late game. Now they can kind of show themselves.
Nutri Sarah boleh. Nutri
They'll play
Sarah.
the late game like Panic do.
Yeah.
Passive late games for these
JG
guys.
cadangan bro,
Sometimes it
Eng.
doesn't pay off. I've been quite frustrated with Panic sometimes just because they are way too passive in the late
Adarta
game at
makasih
times.
8 bulannya ya.
They let teams
Gimana?
walk all over
PRT
them. They
sehat.
don't take the opportunities that are going to guarantee them the win. I really hope that's not the
Anjing
case.
7 kill ya, gue liat-liat nih.
And I know it's early days, but you know, I do
Gila,
the
Cok. Trik, Cok.
calculations quite a lot here. Russell, 1 call, Fury,
Habis
1,
main sama
2.
Okto
If it
jadi gacor
stays
kayak
in
kenapa
that
ya?
order, at the end of this tournament, 1 call
Kemarin
go to
Dep harusnya
PGC.
main sama Okto
serious?
kalian,
Nih.
aimbot
Oh
gitu.
my.
So,
Udah
Alhamdulillah.
pasti nambah mental doang. Kagak nambah yang lain.
Iya, iya.
Gua
lagi buka dia.
Dicari yang judulnya ada tulisan drop.
Oh.
Tolong Bit, jangan dingin-dingin terus Bit.
calculations that kind of go into the way that they're positioned based on PCR1 now coming
Viewer,
into
Cok,
PCR2
batu.
and the way the PGC points work Ken's eventually
JG
finish
jadi camat. Gua hampir kemarin
for finish.
sama kayak JG.
So 1 call
Tapi nggak apa-apa.
early lead.
Kalau berangkat kan ikut berangkat gua.
and it's the position that you want to be in. Nice
Trik
and
nggak punya
early
face
by the
helm
end
tadi
of
ya?
the
Gua nggak
night.
ngeliat
You
tuh.
kind of want a good little 15 to 20 point gap.
Dang.
Fills you with
Oh,
confidence
udah-
for the weekend.
Udah terlatih dia.
Gacor.
Win.
Gacor,
And the
Bang.
fact that, you know,
Tim Indo,
EXO
Bang.
7th, AAP 13th, they're the teams that have got a little bit more
Tapi ini
points than Fury.
kudu chicken sih biar
Oh,
makin
satu
gacor.
satu
This suits them
killnya
right now.
dapat di
16 kills. What a
PNC
performance.
ya?
And now it's just a matter of
Apa
can they
bundir?
finish this
Gua nggak
off.
lihat
Couple of players towards the center of the circle. Obviously they've got some towards the
PNC,
rest.
rek kan?
Nando, bro.
Dengan damage delaynya itu ya.
He was the solo. So a bit of a
Tiba-tiba
wrap from
kena.
Panic, especially towards the left hand
Sama tuh ini.
Hmm.
Oce lawan Oce pingnya sama sama Nando.
Dirit.
Sama ping Nando sama Oce sama tuh.
Sama-sama delay berarti dong.
Iya, sama-sama ping 80. Oce kuning tapi 100. Bisa
150-an.
Tapi kalau pakai VPN bisa turun.
I think that's the wrap that Panic needed to make, but Pivy was
Eh,
just doing it by
100.
himself. No
Nggak nyampe
cover to
150
speak
dah.
of. One call could just peek over these
Kuning
ridges for
pokoknya.
free, and the rest of Panic did nothing about it. That was the winning play, though. I think
Oke,
for
Cibirit
Panic.
masih
Look
hidup.
at this space that now One Call are
Masih
claiming
bisa
because
ditolong.
Pivy went down. Imagine if this was Panic's space, then
Dari zona
Nice,
sih
masih
menang
satu.
ONJ ya.
direction. One Call being
Betul.
diligent as well, clearing their edge.
Posisinya
And now
clearin
Panic are the
atas
ones
dulu,
stuck in a
dapat
very
nih.
similar
Nando sama
position
Cibirit di
to
sini
where
kita
Fury was
lihat.
before. One Call have all the high ground they can
Duet.
get all the wide angles they
Oh,
need to.
Trik
They
sama
don't even
Cimoy.
need to go where
Oh,
Dusky
udah pas
is.
kah
That's low
tiktokannya
ground.
ini?
They're not gonna get
Udah
out.
pas ini kiri kanan, bro.
Tiktokan.
To split it, go edge of blue, stay high
Tiktokan.
ground, you can
DJ dong.
panic in, get to that 20 kills.
Fargoy nanti Nando.
Not impossible here for Panic. They can certainly find a knock
Gimana
early
tuh,
on, make it a
Fargoy?
3v3,
Di camp,
push in,
pas
get some
chicken.
better ground position.
STF one call udah chicken nih.
Really far back, trying to find an angle with the mini trick.
Nice trick.
He's too good, peeks over the
Up,
ridge.
masih ada.
Oh, Trik sabar Trik, sabar,
Up,
sabar Trik,
up,
sabar.
tenang, tenang.
Sabar Trik, sabar Trik.
Wah, gila bro. Unbeatable bro.
Gokil, bro.
Cing 20 bro.
Dorot dong,
Kalau lolos, kalau lolos dibiayai kah sama PUBG? Iya, pasti bang. Tiket
Masa
pesawat,
nggak ditiketin?
hotel lu, makan semuanya.
sampai gede
Kecuali
banget
jajan.
juga.
Tapi tur Jakarta offline nggak sih bang?
We thought it was going to be AAP, Fury, and EXO fighting
Gila, bro.
for it, but One Call was
Mukbang
that
anjing.
they
Mukbang.
weren't gonna show up.
WWCD-nya
They
mukbang, bah.
absolutely have 20 kills. That sent a
Gak
message
sia-sia
to
guys
the
trik main
world.
sama kita itu ya. Gokil gokil.
Betul.
Itu baru sematch, bayangin kalau 5 match guys. Coba 100 kill itu dia.
As long as they can continue to perform like this, they look strong. We'll go to a break. Let's take our time. When we come back, get your jacket.
Baju PGC boleh sih itu bang, kayaknya bagus. Kok nggak dapet tuh ya?
PGC. Gua ada di
Enggak, baju PGC
Waduh.
yang dipakai sama
Wow.
casternya.
To the update 26.1.
Oh. Lu kemana bro Depri?
The return of tactical gear, the launch of a new rank season, and much more. Let's get straight to it.
Murid Okto on fire, asik banget. Murid
Anjing,
Okto.
murid.
Bang.
Ngeri banget gua.
New features and
Serem
Gila,
banget
gila.
sih Bang Okto.
gain new advantages by
Lu tahu kan? Lu tahu kan aja dulu.
discovering tactics for the fresh.
Meng,
Oh, gua
makasih
nggak
5
berhasil
member
ya.
gift-nya, Meng. Gacor.
Keep an eye out for the KFC collaboration.
Ini KFC juga enak nih, kayaknya bagus.
We are also reintroducing tactical gear after a brief hiatus.
Itu item KFC maksudnya apa, Bit?
Tuned and rebalanced it based
item KFC.
Iya.
Yang mana?
Tadi ada item KFC.
Itu kalau yang bundle isinya nanti ayam, kentang, sama minuman energi drink. Kalau ayam itu first aid, kalau kentang bendek.
Oh. Berarti
Lu
nanti
belum coba, belum nyoba lu ya?
belum. Kemarin kan masuk ke sono mayatnya doang. Gua lihat tuh. Belum beli gua. Emang ada belinya?
Yang beli ada.
Cuman di luar nggak ada, di Indo belum. Kalau yang lolos PGC bakal ke Thailand.
Kalau item
bakal
in
Octo
game-nya?
ya.
Hah? Item in game-nya? Dari mana?
Item in game itu beli
Ya beli
nggak ada di Indo tuh.
KFC
KFC Malai, Vietnam, Thailand.
Indo tuh ada tapi nggak tahu kok belum muncul.
Bukan, maksud gua tadi dia di in game ada item KFC-nya gitu loh. Apa cuman ini doang ya? Hiasan.
Nggak tahu tuh, aku
Item
juga
ya?
nggak main.
Nggak tahu.
Barusan
Nggak
tadi.
lihat tadi gua.
Tadi ada. Masalahnya gua nggak denger lagi dia ngomong apa tuh. Kok ada itemnya? Tapi bener sih kayaknya kentang goreng yang gitu-gitu jadi bendek dan lain-lain. Itu dari mana, Bit?
Itu nanti kita ke KFC store-nya di in game tuh, tempat pom bensin.
Ya,
Nanti kita mesen
NPC-nya.
keluar tuh bandelnya. Enggak, pencet mencet doang di
Di
apa
kasir.
ya istilahnya? Ya, itu muncul. Ada nama SSC mr.okto muncul. Nanti muncul paket kita. Tinggal dibuka paketnya, isinya itu.
Oh, berarti kayak item loot ya itu tuh.
Iya.
Ah, itu maksud gua.
Nah,
Gua
itu.
bingung nggak ada di Indo maksudnya. Masa in game-nya
Gua kira
beda Indo sama
KFC store ini yang parasut itu tuh yang gue bilang kemarin, parasut baju.
Baju yang agak kurang itu kan?
Iya,
Parasutnya sih boleh-boleh.
parasutnya keren, merah putih. PGC kan offline turne. Nah, PSC yang nggak lolos PGC tuh.
Nah.
PGC kan off turne. Nah, PSC yang nggak lolos PGC tuh online. Oh, PASC maksudnya. PASC apa ya? Online apa
PUBG
offline?
Asia Super Cup.
Online apa offline? Online ya?
Bisa jadi masih
Location
online sih.
Asia. Tuh, enggak offline, Bro. Tuh.
Offline.
Oh, tipe online, Deng. Online. Lokasinya Asia, atasnya ada tipenya online.
Makasih. Soalnya setahu gua sekarang ya itu yang dunia doang offline-nya.
Iya, PGC.
Jadi kayak tipikal UNP apa dulu tuh yang gacor? Yang nggak berangkat, Bit. Unpad.
Unicorn.
Iya,
UNC.
Unpad.
Poenik Danang.
UNP itu yang gacor banget.
Unicorn. Iya.
Nah, yang gitu-gitu pasti nolak ya. Mungkin nggak ada paspor ya kan waktu itu.
Betul. Pubg 2. Pubg 2, Bang. Komenannya Pubg 2. Ya 1400 yang di official Indo berapa nih yang nonton?
New Prime Loot katanya nggak ada ya. In game content chicken dinner booster 7 pack. Gokil.
Tat 4 detik. Kok di
Jadi
sini
gimana
udah-
Bang editan
Oh,
gue?
udah deh, emang.
Asik. Boleh. Udah bisa gantiin Ripki belum? Kalau lu nggak ngeluh sih bisa. Bisa jarang ngeluh itu bisa. Tapi kalau masih disertai dengan keluhan susah, Cak. Gue lebih baik editan kurang maksimal tapi nggak ngeluh ketimbang editan bagus ngeluh mulu. Nah. Kayak masih dikit lagi. Cuman lu tuh apa ya, ngetek tapi nggak ada tekannya kata gue. Ini apa sih kata gue? Mana 3 biji lagi? Apa ini hasil ngedit upload hapus
Gila, ada
hapus
camat
nih?
one call di sini tuh muncul.
Mana?
Sampai jam berapa?
Mikune
Nobar
kah?
nggak sih, Jack?
Oh, Jack.
Manajer itu.
Soalnya lupa.
Sampai jam berapa ya? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kayaknya. 9 setengah 10. Asal EXO nggak top 3 lolos ini ONC. Nah, Fury sama AP jangan lu lupain Al. Orang-orang yang serem di D2 D3 tuh. Mereka juga nggak boleh
Orang-orang
top
telat panas.
3. Iya. Oh, Jaka mau micun di sebelah.
Nggak ada suaranya, emang gua kecilin bang.
20 kills in that game, but it wasn't really like the most overly aggressive kind of 20 kill game that I've seen. They held good position, played edge, roamed well, didn't over aggressive.
PUBG official Indo penontonnya 62 plus 62 berarti.
Really well
Pas.
worked game. We've seen a lot of other teams as well.
Ramein lah
Map
guys.
control, map positioning, try and scout
Bang,
out
kalau
position.
restream
So it's
dari
not all
stream
just sort of getting the vehicle
utamanya,
run around as a four-man and spray out
Bang, kalau
cars or
restream
send
dari
onto
stream
buildings.
utama
We
ya,
haven't really
jangan
seen
dari
too
yang
many
lain,
crashes.
takut ke
We haven't
take
really
down,
seen too
dikasih
many
tahu orang
sends.
crafton.
We're not really seeing that sort of more
Iya.
older school approach in this region. We're seeing
Langsung
teams finally
di
start to actually
PUBG global.
probably go to new levels of tactics and it's
Emang
paying
ada
dividends
restream
for
dari
both
yang
of them.
gak
And
utama?
who knows, maybe that's the reason why
Iya,
the likes
Bang.
of AAP are just struggling.
Pertanyaan
Bang
gue itu
kan
dong
ngasih
sih.
tahu. Jangan dari yang
Ooh,
lain,
that's a
takut ke
good point. Maybe they're
tim
used
dari
to playing
utama.
a certain way. I mean, the round of 32 looked quite standard.
Oh,
like,
maksudnya
AA dominating
ini yang
that
PUBG
kind
Indo.
of meta, so
Nggak mungkin kan?
it's weird that they can't transfer it to a lobby like this that is playing quite smart, playing the tactical game. It's definitely off. I'll say
Vikendi,
that's
bro.
not right. Vikendi though, this is going to shake some
Fury
things
juara
up. This
juga.
is not a
Fury
this is
juara 2. Emang iya harus juara
Tango
1
is
juga
now
Fury.
kind of a known factor,
Fury.
but I feel like Vikendi, as much as these teams want to try
Awalnya
and
di
understand
subtitle.
Vikendi, there's probably a lot more moments
Awalnya
where
di
they're like,
subtitle, terus gue delete. Gua ganti suara sambil nonton tutor. Terus kasih sound efek quake juga. 3 kali tuh ya berarti ya. Mana yang pas udah jadi kagak di tag lagi. Kayak mana ya udahlah.
I don't think you can, right?
Nice,
I think
nice.
you probably just have to say, hey, I've maybe played this map in ranked and know some spots and know some little tricks of the trade, but outside of that, I don't think you can.
Tapi
say
itu
as
emang
a
momen tai sih.
team, as a formal team,
Gua tahu-tahu sampai lupa anjing.
the Vikendi team.
Kan
I
kan
think
gue
there's
ya
something
pasangannya ya,
similar.
lovernya itu ya.
Probably when,
Mati juga, bah.
Sandhawk actually came in. I know it's weird because I've skipped Tago, but Tago came in. I think is a probably more ready.
Udah nggak usah hapus pos tuh kebiasaan Cak, sama aja kalau chat juga nih. Chat di sini tahu-tahu pesan ditarik apa coba? Macem labil lah. ABG labil. Tenang, chill, santai, let it go, let it flow. W chat ya kan. Wop, turun.
Bang, detik. Kok ada ungu-ungunya ini apa?
40, 41.
Ah,
So
52,
look at Vikendi,
53.
and as you spectate this game, you'll see for yourself. But one of the problems with
Berapa bit?
Vikendi, or one
Tikan?
of its unique quirks,
41,
we'll put it like
42.
that, is that if you have high ground,
Lu
it doesn't
real itu.
really mean the same
Tidak
as
dong.
when you have high ground in a Wrangle.
Ya.
When you have high ground in a Wrangle or Miramar, it's a landmark. You're up there.
Kalau
you have
overthinking
an
gitu sih, Bit.
advantage over these other teams. When you have high
Gue
ground
udah
on
refresh kok
Vikendi,
masih tetap
200 or 300 meters off in the distance to your north,
Jing
south,
lu.
east, west. there's
0,
also another team with the
1,
same high ground,
2 tuh.
advantage.
Dua, pas.
They just obviously might have a little bit of different information. But you can see
Overthinking bro
that
kan gua.
you'll have
Gua
one hill,
ngomong gua.
but the team across from you has got basically the same hill. So
Lapar
there's
lagi.
no,
Waduh,
like,
perang nih.
in some areas, obviously there is high ground
Let's go
advantage,
OC lawan
but
OC.
it's
Let's
a
go
lot
perang.
less defined.
Gas.
So,
Oh, enggak ding.
on a hill now, and
Elek mana, mana? Bang, caster mic-nya.
a lot like that, and then
Mic-nya
obviously
tenggelam.
compounds play differently on this as well. To Tago, to Wrangle, to Miramar. Compounds are
Streamer
kind of like,
detikan
okay,
biar
you got compounds,
sama.
you got a lot of open space in
Siapa
between
punya
you,
watch partnya
and the
sama
other
juga.
compounds and the rest of the terrain
Samain
as well in
detikannya.
a lot of the cases. So
Ntar
there's a lot that
delay lagi.
Vikendi has that these teams have to
Gua
kind of work their
ngeriak,
way around
wah
and
rata
figure
satu
out,
squad. Oh, kata Okto.
what kind of meta
Oh.
is going to stick really on Vikendi, 'cause I
Baru
think it's already
rata
been
di
figured
dia,
out on
5
Tago,
detik
obviously it's been
kemudian.
figured out on
Kan
Wrangle
gak
and Miramar
lucu.
for years, but I still think even after a few months, Vikendi is a bit of an unknown factor.
Yeah, it
ONC,
certainly would be.
wih, di
We'll
tengah
see how
bro,
it plays
tengah
out.
lagi,
Obviously, you
FTF.
also only play it once, right? So you probably don't put too much stock into it. And that was, I guess, the notion.
FTF
early
mana
on
ya?
with
Oh, itu di
Tago
atas
when he came
AP.
into the map pool. It was kind of like, okay, well, you play it once, right? So it's not like you have to go too crazy on it. If you have a bad game, it's
Rumahnya
fine. We
dikit
go
ya,
to the
tengah
more
zone ya.
stock-standard
Lu
maps
lihat tuh
immediately
rumahnya.
after, whether
Nggak
it's
ada.
an Erangel or a Miramar.
Cuman
And the same
anak
is said
ONC
here for
atasnya
Vikendi,
dikit
you
tuh.
know,
Rumah tengah
this is
zone.
where truthfully, if you're an AOP,
Di sini
kan?
makin sepi ya. Kayaknya di sana cuman bermodal
Ini main
lekukan dah.
Now,
You're on 5
Iya,
points.
atau nggak
needs to
mobil
go a
lah,
bit of a
yang
safe
mobil
haven.
berarti ya,
This way you're gonna
Vikendi ya.
get some points and steal some points. You
Jangan
want
Dacia
every
tapi
other team to
yang
say,
ada
"Ah, it's
nggak
just
naik ke
Vikendi."
bukit.
You want the one calls and the Furies and the
Mobil
FTFs that
Mr.
are
Bean mau nggak
dominating
mau.
to be like, "Oh, well,
Iya,
maybe
harus
we're not as
itu.
great here. Let's just
Yang
see
bisa
what we
naik
can
yang
get
mobil itu
and
dong.
try and steal some points." So this is the kind of map, and these
Apa
are the
namanya?
kind of maps where those in
Itu.
the middle of the pack and the bottom of the pack need to try and have a bit more of an even playing field.
Chicken lagi nggak sih? Semoga Indo yang chicken lagi. Siapapun itu Indo pokoknya, jangan luar. Dukung mereka untuk mengambil slot PASC juga bang. Ini 2 slot yang diambil sekarang ini.
Rank 1 rank 2 udah pasti lolos nggak?
PASC iya 1-4 tuh.
Oh 1-4.
Kalau PGC 1 call.
1 call.
PGC itu
FTF nggak ada peluang.
EXO, Fury, FTF ada peluang, tapi
Probabilitasnya
poinnya
kecil.
jauh.
Oh.
Jauh.
Yang mendekati on call doang ya.
Poin kumpulan ya jatuhnya buat invite ya.
Ya betul. One call dia poinnya misalnya 200 lah. Yang di atas tuh udah 800 tuh. Kayak chance-nya tuh kecil banget. Cuman 0,000 tadi lah persen.
Can get out of this little tricky situation. Throws the smokers for a pop shot. It actually has 2 nades, but the amount of
Pokoknya
time needed
PGC
to
itu udah
go for
ready
a
banget.
correction
ONC,
thrown down
Fury,
the window will give Ryan another
EXO
chance. Dean
sama AP.
Oh, Apex, I'm not sure if that was the play.
Oh ini super nair
So
nih.
he runs out from the tree as the smoke was still pluming, goes
Yan,
to try and
main
get to
yan.
the fence line. He goes down. He needed to hold the angle, allowed Dean to cause a bit of chaos, and then hold the
Tapi di
2v1.
PASC bakal ada poin lagi nggak buat
Nggak ada.
PGC? Oh nggak ada.
Itu udah kayak PCS tuh, PASC. PCS kan qualifier PGC juga ya?
Iya.
Nggak ada, itu udah mentok PSC. Itu turnamen A juga kok gede kok. Turnamen gede juga. Tapi untuk Asia dong. Tier berapa?
Tapi
Tier A harusnya berarti.
putus berarti kan. Habis
Ya,
turnamen itu
putus.
beres ya udah gitu kan.
Ya itu yang kata Bang Han tadi kan. Tahun depan itu itu dia. Pasti jadi sih menurut gua.
Kalau tahun depan nyambung berarti.
Ya, biasanya yang juara 1 gitu dapat ini slot invited.
Nah, itu dia
iya.
biasanya. Atau
Cuma
ada
masih
poinnya gitu.
Sama ada lanjutan toh. SSC Corp turnamen.
Gokil. Jadi yang menang PASC nih
Kita
invite ke SSC turnamen duo.
Iya. Orang Cina tuh kalau juara nah, lu hubungin dah.
Anak-anak por AM yang tiba-tiba.
Apa ini? Lawan-lawannya kayak kita tuh yang nggak bisa nembak.
Yang miss dikit kena pala kita ya.
Gampang banget deh katanya. Poin PGC itu dari total poin kan ya? Iya dari total poin PCR 1 sama PCR 2. Yang sekarang di mana ini PCR 2. PCR 1 yang kemarin-kemarin. Ini Rian siapa beat yang main? Rian Bang Australia bang. Orang Australia nggak tahu siapa. Bukan Super Nerd. Bukan.
Yang tim Foxy kan?
Iya.
Malai itu.
Malai kok. Kok gua OC mulu dah. OC mulu. Rian Malai.
Because Vikendi looks very similar across the board.
Ayolah ramein lagi PUBG PC Indo. Sulit bang.
Kita mah tiap itu juga usaha bang.
Iya bang gimana tapi
Kalau komunitasnya belum dirangkul susah bang.
semua orang tidak mempunyai PC bang masalahnya. Punya sih PC tapi speknya itu tidak memadai untuk PUBG sekarang. Bawa bazooka bro.
Delta
Masukin mereka kasih
dicegrok, jrok.
Gila, kelamaan.
Tau gak tuh, ternyata mereka kesini ngambilin itu Panzer karena Panzer banyak sini. Spawn 3 apa?
Oh, pakai mobil itu.
Iya, ada 3 tuh Panzer di situ spawn. Atau enggak ada, kalau ada Gundala datang, dalam Gundala itu ada 2 apa 3 juga tuh.
Enggak, gondola.
Ah, gondola.
Hero gitu.
Gila.
Allahu
Kalah, Bang.
Akbar.
Kalah, Bang. Kalah, Bang.
The Flash Indo itu. Gundala.
Berapa tir?
Salah, Bang, maaf, Bang. Rian Dipra, nah pas.
Nah.
Makbet emang. Pas banget Malay pula.
Cocok nih saya punya kawan.
CK toh sebenarnya main di sini tuh.
Nah, fokus prosin ternyata ya.
Iya. Habis ini lanjut apa? Kayaknya tidur gua, Bang.
Tapi Gundala nggak sih? Gundala nih deh.
Gondala, Bang. Gondola gua.
Gondola.
Wah, gondola.
Capek banget. Udah
Gua ngomong apa
dibenerin
barusan?
masih salah. Bodoh amat. Gundu kali lu gundu. Ah.
And you're now down 2 in game 4. There's got to be just a little bit of pressure. If not vocally, in
Ayo
fact,
bang, cosplay jadi
Bang,
caster
nobar
mana tahu
lagi.
direkrut.
Nobar, Bang.
Yo.
Pokoknya ada turnamen-turnamen begini gua sama Okto selalu nobar, Bang.
Itu waktu yang tepat untuk AFK so.
Iya, betul, Bang.
Tanpa main.
Tanpa capek. Capek di suara doang. Nggak pegel.
Besera.
Dapat. Gua kira FTF lagi. Beda bukit ternyata.
Ya, investigasi tuh.
Yuk, pala semua kan tadi? Ah,
pala bro.
badan tuh ditembak tuh. Ngeflex. Fix. Mid yang nggak lolos PASC atau PGC apakah dapat hadiah? Tidak, Bang. Hadiah cuma 1 sampai 4. Tuh, ini
Emang nggak ada
kan?
hadiah PCR?
Yang hadiah 1 sampai 4 dong? Nggak ada.
Enggak kayak yang zaman dulu. Ada nggak sih di Wikipedia?
Cuma 1 sampai
Ada
4
di
doang.
Wikipedia 1 sampai 4 dong tuh. Yang lainnya cuma penghibur, Bang.
Tapi
Astagfirullah.
qualifier
Nggak
di
ada
sini
tapi
lewat
ini,
mana?
Qualifier. Qualifier biasa dong. Kayak gini juga ke grup.
Dari Indo
Ada hadiah juga.
apa ini?
Sama gabungan.
Kalau PASC
Filipina,
nanti
Aussie.
dapat semua.
Nah, PSC baru.
Bukan
Udah
tier
kira.
atasnya masa nggak ada ya kan? Nangis bang kalau nggak ada.
Hadiahnya Hikmah. Betul. Zonanya, bro. AP, bro. Aduh, ini mulai
Wikipedia.
kah? Lu loadingnya lama nggak tuh? Coba buka PCR. Gue di home lama, muter mulu nih. Kayak berapa menit baru kebuka.
Di Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Iya.
Aman.
Aman.
Lu aman?
Wah,
aman. Indie Beats, Cok.
You probably got to look to get aggressive. I mean, you're in a central location though, so you probably want to play
Turnamen
that, and I think that's
yang lagi ongoing gimana ya?
Kaf mati lagi.
Matinya gitu terus sih Kapli.
Ya Allah,
And,
bete
that's one way
banget
for
kaos,
Exo to get that first
Cok.
kill on Vikendi. Comes,
4
gets
match.
caught. He's by
Nggak
himself south of the
main.
train station. Suspect with
Lah
a good
iya ya
spot.
4 doang ya.
Towards Sands. Bandits have been a bit quiet tonight. Probably expected a little bit more
Playing
from them.
PUBG lu berapa
Not high
jam, Bang, total
expectations
di
per se,
Steam?
but just a team
10.000
of players
lebih
that have
kayaknya.
been around a long time. They're certainly experienced,
PGC
but
poin
they haven't been
800
able to
ya
make
kalau
things
juara ya.
work. Not so much at the moment, but yeah, I think for AAP,
Sorry,
this is the
sorry,
kind of
guys.
game, Russell, especially with the way it's shaped up phase 2, bit of a center circle for them.
Jadi
I think
fokus
you actually
nonton
play
duit.
quiet. I know, I think I'd like them to flex their
Wah,
muscles a bit
Okto
like
ya,
we
Bang.
saw in
Wih,
RO32.
Indo perang, bro.
But because they've started
Indo
so
sama
quiet,
Indo.
just play the compound, play the
Personal nih,
center, and see
personal
what
nih.
you can do. Maybe you get late placement
Beat
points, get a
iklan.
couple of
Wah.
kills, and just quietly get
Jadi
yourself
glowing
back
bentar
into
lagi gua
tonight.
iklan itu.
As we keep
Waduh,
an eye on
Bandit
a couple
datang
of
tuh.
these little engagements brewing just north of
Oh,
Mesto.
no.
It's going to be Fleaways that gets
Oh,
the kill.
no.
He gets the flush.
Rata.
Wah anjing, don 8.
Personal, maksudnya ditembak. Personal.
Kawan apa gimana tuh bang?
Iya, Indo gameplay. Aduh.
for Pig, and they get some
Personal
much needed
mayatnya
points.
ditembak. Bukan ranked
Yeah,
bang,
very,
udah.
very much needed points. But yeah,
Bayan dulu
you're
napa?
absolutely right about
Kalau
AP.
ranked
They
gak
don't need
apa-apa.
to spread out. They don't need to here.
Don 1, Don 2, Don 3, Don 5.
Santai bang Pal, santai bang Pal.
SKS-nya morbid banget
SKS
SKS lagi.
Mini bang,
morbid banget.
mini bang.
Had a solid performance in round of 32, and I know that they
Mini
can
tuh
do quite
emang
well.
butuh ritme cok.
They're obviously going to be kind of subconsciously versing teams like Irrelevant, Tanax, VIP, who's the best out of
Ini yang 4
the,
besar udah dapat hadiah, diundang juga tahun depan. Cuan sih, cuan bang.
right now.
5 sampai 16-nya cuan.
Roman kill right next to 4 piggies.
Cuan apa tuh?
The thing about Vikendi
Cuan
as well,
kill lah,
similar
jualan
to
cocok.
Tego, is you get some of
Dapat
these
main doang.
scenarios where you can easily share a compound with a team. The
Yang
compounds
nyesek mah yang
are
rank 5 sih
spread
tetep ya.
out, so they're so elongated.
Iya.
Gimana Bit rasanya waktu rank 4 hadiahnya sampai rank 3?
Sharing a cube on a rank
Diam.
or something like that. Now, these are very long compounds.
Kira-kira gitulah.
You share them, and
Iya.
when both those teams are sitting in the center of the zone, there's really no need to fight each other and send each other
Oke,
to the
nyesek
lobby.
itu
So
di bawah
they'll
yang
happily do
lolos.
that.
Dah,
Irrelevant.
itu udah paling
Also,
nyesek.
action versus Tanax looks like Tanax a little bit stuck inside
Diambil
this
8 besar, kita rank 9.
Yeah, and
Hadiah 1 sampai 8, kita 9. Nah,
Jeff gets knocked down actually.
Apalagi
by
1
Steve.
sampai 3 lu keempat ya kan.
Doing quite well.
Nah.
Pas.
Here on Vikendi, been thereabouts. And of course, you think back to probably game 1, which was their
poin
their
buat
best
PGC
game in the
diambil
woods,
dari
and
total
the way that
poin
they
plus
played,
bonus
good
ranknya kan.
positioning.
Poin
Kinda
buat
need
PGC
to do
diambil
something
dari
similar
total
in this
poin
one. PV's
plus
gonna
bonus
just
ranknya.
top down.
A little bit damage.
Yeah,
Ya, betul gitu, Wut.
Obviously dropped the
Langsung aja buka
parachute
Wikipedia
a little early,
PCR-nya, Wut.
but he makes his way down
Nanti ada
really quick.
PGC
EXO
poin.
itu timnya
Actually,
morbid
they
tuh,
get into
betul
game one. I was
betul.
just saying how
EXO
Yeah,
extraordinary
Bang.
emang.
position, played it clear, but this is
Terus,
just
Bang,
a straight
terus, Bang.
rush. This is a straight send.
Nangis nih,
Off the
aimbot.
initial knock,
Kalau kalian
down
gituin.
the nade onto
Tuh.
Rain.
Lagi sedih dia ini.
Jangan
So this
embot
is
lah.
something I probably
Lu
wasn't
nggak
expecting
nangis.
from Irrelevant, but to
Gua
their
cadangan.
credit, entry's
Dia
clean.
pemain
They get
player
the knock,
utama.
they follow it up. Never mind, that's cherry onto Soyhan. They can't quite
Nggak ada
get any
kesetaraan
more
gitu.
after that initial knock, and Jeff with a good angle on the
Nggak,
side.
No.
This is where you can get punished for rushing
Oh,
into a
temen gua
building
harus.
that you're not quite
Nggak ada dev lagi soalnya di Discord.
And the lay of the land is going to backfire for Irrelevant. Sohan down, blessed.
Dengar-dengar
Trying to
Ian
just play the
masuk.
window,
Waduh.
savvy, reload, timely matter, and eventually 10x
There we
dealt
go.
with.
Jadi
But yeah, I mean, kind of scrappy. They
Wih,
get the
narik
kills,
bawah
they
lagi,
get the
Cok.
position. The position's not that great, and PE on the move.
FS dapat 2. Dapat kill siapa ya tadi?
They got the
Iya,
knockdown
eh,
nade as
apa
well.
Fury.
Then it
Fury,
was the steps after
culik
that they
tadi.
stepped into the open a little
Yang
bit.
2
Looks
itu
like
loh Bit, barusan kita
Yang pada
tontonin
cari-
Bit.
Oh iya, Deng.
Bit.
Hari. Oh iya iya.
Because if he hit it onto the
Itu kan dia ngejogrok di Gundala lu itu. Gimana sih?
This is 2 of Pindados as well. So they're trying to be cheeky. This is not something
Wah,
where they
masih
are
muda,
offensive
ya.
Abis ini kayaknya.
Obviously,
Abis
Archie's
mau
position
harus
is known.
makan nih, belum
Crazy
makan
Nine
nih
is
hari
the
ini.
unknown factor here. Could get a cheeky knock onto
Apa?
Boleh,
Blast.
Bang Pal, KFC, Bang Pal.
Turns it into a 2v2.
Gas ke.
It's
Enggak.
very doable.
Tadi
But
ini
obviously Irrelevant is
gua
now on
mau
high
main
alert,
sama
having
siapa
been
tiap
shot
hari
at, so
aimbot bilang
they're
gitu.
probably not going to give things up that easily.
Kok gua dengernya tadi ada
Well,
bahas
so
udah
this
lolos ya?
location, as you can see in the minimap, just
Enggak.
barely in for phase 3.
Nggak ada.
A minute and a half from now, no
Bit,
need to
ntar malam
worry
naik
too
Bit.
much, but it does mean you'll be pushing in quite
Tidur,
late
bro.
for phase
Aduh,
4.
tidur bro. Udah berapa
But
tahun
Ngantuk,
fortunately
bro,
for
masih,
Irrelevant,
bro.
just been able to have a beer
Ngantuk
with
bro
the
masih
eyes.
bro. Kena prank anak orang cok.
Does he get flashed? Not flushed straight away.
Culik.
Not straight away. But eventually, Crazy
Berapa
Nine does
hari
get
ini
back
sudah
to
main
it.
malam
He
terus.
just paused, wait to see if there was going
Saya
to
takut
be someone to
diomelin.
peek out from the backside of the building. And this is where you can get punished for these aggressive plays. Rather than playing position, rather than looking for a more
Ini
central
gimana cerita
location,
mobil di atas ini?
obviously a bit more of an unfamiliar
Meledak
map.
dikit.
You don't play it as often, you just push, you go aggressive. You
Eh,
almost
Waduh,
fall back
itu
into
ada
Tahuan apa?
Nggak kecek. Enggak.
Enggak.
Actually,
Nggak
well, he
ke-
somewhat does the same thing, and he'll get right
Nggak
from
kelihatan
punish.
berarti ya.
Pushes in, no real info.
Ada
The
itu
DPS
tuh,
up close,
apa?
very strong, and
Let's see.
Hatchie's down.
Kayu
Nade to finish him
untuk
off, unless
di
they get
atas
the kill, so
kasur
more
biasanya.
points for Irrelevant. And I guess
Kayu
if they
apa
can
deh,
finish this
nggak
with 5 to
kelihatan
6
jadi palanya.
kills, get some points from it, it
Buam.
ends up looking
Kena.
Lumayan.
pretty decent for a map of Vikendi.
Lumayan, the make tuh ya.
Exo here as well.
Farming the
They
make
want
aja
a
tuh.
bit of the
Farming.
action, but
Biar MVP.
most of it's contained into the compound. So they were only able to get some tags before realizing that maybe it's
SG
not
kali 6 bukan
trying to
SG
get
kali
one
6
take.
itu
Savvy goes
nuker
down.
DMR tadi bang.
Blessed and Crazy Nine, a 1v1. Crazy Nine absolutely insane.
Sengaja
We've seen some
nuker dulu
crazy
ke
highlights
shotgun
from this guy, but he's
buat
being limited.
close
Betul.
range.
He's being told no by EXO, who have stayed. They've kept a couple members here while a couple go off and scout. These kills, you may as well get them when you have as much
Westpac
space
lagi
as EXO has. You may as that
skemain
is
apa ini?
not friendly to a lot of teams.
Oh, itu
That is
bertiga doang?
about as field ending as you
Oh
can
nggak ada
get.
yang berempat.
Yeah, I mean,
Apakah
I think even the
tak
teams inside of the
berabe?
circle, ironically, it's probably not that friendly either because
Duluan,
in the
aduh
long run,
pensi ngambil
if
duluan
that
ya rumah itu
donuts
enggak
and
ding, dapat
sent us
bukti
into
dia.
that open area, that's not going to be fun to push
Gila,
out of
Crazy
any
9, bro.
compound that you may actually
Kill
have.
sendirian.
Panic, are they going to
Real
find
gendong.
themselves out in the open at the end of this game? Could very well, perhaps they might force them into the try and share the compound
Cocok
with
buat tarik
AAP
buat
on the north
nge-carry.
side, who obviously have kind of tried to remain quiet. No kills from them. 17 minutes gone. Still got 13 teams up.
Tornado, masuk angin
There's a
tornado.
world in which this 2-2 split for AAP could
Abang udah
backfire
pernah
up
belum
north
kena
if teams are
itu,
looking to try and
tornado
take shelter,
Udah.
take cover, a bit more of an open circle. If Panic being
Gua ngeliat-
pushed up north.
Ngeliat si Kermen pusing dah barusan.
Titan Foxy
Nggak ada di
Just
goanya di
made
sini.
a bit of headway, but as soon as they get into the circle, Exo Clan in a good position, mainly Insight, and Insight's being
Wah,
able to put
Sans,
some good
Cok.
work in. Hen will bleed out just down to Ryan and 7.
Setelah juara MS.
Ravenly, thank you sudah join. Endra, thank you. 16 tahun ya bang. Dukung tim apa bang? Dukung tim Indo lah. Ketik Indo. Bakal dibalas sama Neckbot.
Ini dia. Ditinggal.
Jalan, dia jalan dong dapat rumah. Oh, banget.
Waduh,
Modal gue doang dapat rumah dia, Cok. Aduh, TD. Oh, shit, man. Aduh,
Waduh.
bisa Ari.
Waduh.
The only cover they really have are the bushes, the hay bales, and the
FTF.
Nico's car is about to blow up. He's going to have
Nice
to
try,
Serak
Zello with the
FTF-nya
hay
guys.
bale, so good on him. Exo controlling their edge. 7 kills now. FTF dead. That's second place gone. One call still alive. Maybe that gap is going to get just that much bigger.
Yeah, I
Crazy
think it
9 ini
could. I think one
jadi
call's
crazy beneran nih.
probably in a position now where if they can play the south side, try and push in onto a building like Roman Kill and clear that out, they can go deep into the long game. The question is if that's going to be the plan. It's not going to be an easy plan to execute. So we'll see what
Nggak ada
happens.
apa-apa
But they're
toh,
not in
itu
the
udah
best
ada
of
di atas
positions
tuh
to
Neckbot.
confirm
Lu mah nggak
a
nganggep
long-
Neckbot
long
gimana
game
sih?
here. AAP though, you got to be winning these
Capek dia
fights.
bang,
Showing
diketik
the
mulu.
Hey, Patrick, just a little bit-
Satu bang,
a little bit
satu aja
senseless as
tuh.
he walks into that doorway.
Baru muncul
Loses
lagi
his
kan
life.
delay bang.
Unfortunately, a trade immediately helps him out. They'll get the revive.
Oh,
and
Ince nabrak, bro.
AAP on the board with a couple of kills, gets them up to 7
Pelan-pelan,
points.
pelan-pelan, Pak.
Sands finished off. Miller falls to Nandu.
Gila, dihancurin
Not a bad
gini
little
langsung
push from
didobrak,
one
bro.
call. So they've actually gone past
Tengah-tengah
Roman Kill. They're
BNDT.
going towards the
Gokil.
southwestern side to try and push in onto a fighting bandits who already are not really in a position to sort of defend themselves from this.
Nice,
Nice,
ONC.
bro,
They get
nice.
very quickly wiped out. So one call third party.
Saatnya rotasi nggak sih, nggak baik kayak gini.
More importantly, one call now get the position.
Aduh, trik.
Aman toh dia.
Doesn't look like it's the
Trik,
greatest
jangan
one
di
call,
instan.
though, very open.
Aman, jangan di
You look
instan,
at that
aman,
map of
aman.
Vikendi, you go, okay, well,
Iya,
Gila
sama.
zonanya, Cok.
It's not
Terus
very
kemana
open.
gue nanya?
It's actually quite flat. And one call,
Dia gua
Looks
nggak
like
hafal,
they'll
Cok.
lose one because
Bikin
of-
di
oh, no,
nggak
they're
hafal.
it's okay.
Di map sih kayak rata semua ya.
Very open.
Ada satu lekukan doang.
Yomik harus berpikir keras nih, Yomik.
It's been damn favorable to
Ayo,
Fury,
Cimoy,
potentially even
kamu
AAP,
harus
so they just have to step out their
mengcall
compound, be
teman-teman
inside the
kamu.
zone. One call are going to have a little bit harder of a center
Dan
make.
3 lainnya
Back in
memberi
their cars,
saran.
Maybe gun it straight for the center, but where do you play? I don't have much experience on this map. I'm hoping they do.
Sama
because
tuh,
I can't
casternya.
really see a ball or anything that they can play that's not exposed.
Nggak begitu banyak katanya. Pengalaman di sini. Persis lah kita juga.
The Blizzards. Yes.
Yeah. So
Nggak ada,
something
tahu
to think
Vikendi,
about
Cok.
as well. But that circle does move away from one call who fought to kind of get that more western side position. Panic haven't really moved to their credit. They've just kind of stuck fat, haven't elected to do too much. Now they've got to make a decision. Nice little shot from Rip to get the down onto Dowdy. And this is where any kind of high ground looking down in towards the center portion of the circle is going to be so valuable. But you also then feel the risk. You can see Rip kind of looking towards VIP, then looking towards AAP. If he can spot them, they can spot him. He knows he's got to be careful.
Indo,
7
ketik
kills
aja langsung
for
bang,
Exo. Far
Indonesia.
better performing game on Vikendi. And a couple of their previous ones gets them back up into the top 6. Certainly looking to try and close the gap with the likes of FTF and Fury.
Ini dia rotasi kematian.
Calculations just yet as to what happens if Exo push back up.
Aduh,
into
udah.
the second or a third,
Aduh.
but that means
Aduh,
one
udah.
thing
Satu
that
nih,
later
Rip.
on
Musuh
move,
terlihat.
loses that battle against Suspect. The drive-by
Matiin dulu nih.
unsuccessful.
Soe,
His
soe.
hand failed. Won't get a second chance, not this game.
Aduh dari jauh juga bang. Aduh.
Ente, bro.
Very quick work of one call.
Jadinya ONT guys ya.
So
Allah.
that puts an end to their little charade.
2 teratas kita
3
sudah
kills,
pulang,
that's all,
guys,
just
di
the
match
3
ini.
points from this game of Vikendi.
Tersisa tim for pick ya.
For
For
pick
pick.
FTF out with Fury wounded. unable to do that, and it gives everyone a bit of hope going into Miramar.
Guys, jadi ONT guys gimana ya?
Absolutely. I mean, Fury even with 2, they can get up to 40 points, potentially even a little bit more.
Oh, habis rebahan anjing caster satu lagi nih.
Gap is
AFK mulu.
smaller. Panic though, very clean wipe. Looked like they had things.
Absolutely kata dia. Baru habis rebahan banget.
Multiple players. Absolutely fantastic work from them. This Blizzard is not going to let up anytime soon. They stay around for way too long.
Yeah, they shouldn't even be in the game, to be honest.
Antara masih
they
banyak
shouldn't
match.
be. And while they are here, they're going to cause
Masih
so
ada
much
14
pain
match lagi.
to VIP specifically.
Yeah.
You said VIP weren't going to move. Well, as soon as that Blizzard popped, they're not going to move even more. There's nowhere to go.
Sure.
You can barely see, you can barely hear anything. But luckily for them,
Puri
they're
udah pasti
inside the
naik
circle.
rank
Yeah,
2
just
ya.
barely. It's a contention on this side. Just barely.
Rank
Pasti.
1
So
nggak
that's
mungkin.
gonna be the main focus.
Killnya
Kecuali-
masih 0.
kecuali mati sekarang.
What's AAP gonna do pushing into Panic?
Betul.
Panic have looked quite sharp this game. So this is
Nikos.
another good opportunity for AAP. Panic, they've got 4 men
Bukan
up.
kok kelihatan
although
ada
one
di
of
situ
their
ya?
players is actually playing a little bit more south. That's Pivy. He's kind of
Tapi ini tumben banget dah AP udah 3 match ya. Mau match keempat
So this is an
beres.
opportunity
Masih
momentarily
8 bang.
in favor of
Tumben
AAP in this
banget.
fight. Unless
Kayaknya
we
sekarang
can
nih, Tok.
maybe find an angle. I'm
Jangan
not
dah.
sure
Sekarang.
from that distance.
Dibiarinnya
This
di
is a little
bawah
more
aja.
flat terrain.
Iya bener sih.
So Panic
Tusunnya
was
terus lu.
not in a position where they wanted
Tapi
to
nggak
take
apa-apa
this
kalau
fight,
dia
knowing they're down a
ngetusunin
player. They get in their vehicles,
Fury,
they smoke up.
Fury,
EXO nggak apa-apa.
A
PNC.
smoke shield and then
Oh iya
fall
benar
back
Fury
to a
sama
more
EXO.
safe position, which is closer to Pibby. Smart play from Panic. They know to not force the fight, force the issue. It's not a fight that they need to take.
Walaupun
It's
gua nggak tahu
certainly not an
poinnya
area that you necessarily
yang
want. I mean, look
nembak
at
ya.
this area. It's all out in the open.
Ya,
So
gimana
if
nggak
this
lemah di tempat
continues,
casternya udah jam
you are not
setengah 1.
exactly safe.
Emang caster mana bang? Setengah 1.
Vikendi is,
Oh iya.
Oke.
to its
Aku
name
sih
being
ya.
open.
Oh iya, Obu toh.
Wonder where Exo's
Bener
gonna
toh,
go.
capek toh.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Di jam berapa
Absolutely.
di break?
Close to Panic, very crucial to get this.
Berarti ini anak-anak main tengah malam ya anjing.
Inside was the one going wide. It'll go down though
Baru
very
sadar
quickly,
gua,
dealt
Cok.
with by Dusky,
Mereka
but Rick is
main
back
tengah
on the train.
malam.
Even more trades coming in. This whole fight is so open to the rest of the server.
Waduh,
This
reload.
has to be good from Dusky. It has to be a
Mati,
perfect
mati,
defense, and it's
mati.
just not. It's not good for EXO either. 1
Hoki banget darahnya
HP
1.
on Akita. This is AAP.
Setengah 12
Potentially
sekarang.
getting themselves back in this. Fury's still here as well. They want as many.
Nah,
as
AP
much
beneran
kills as
anjing
they
ini mah.
possibly get too. As a 2-man, they're going to be very
Ini
desperate
IO
for
dan
them. 6
lain-lainnya
kills to
semua
AAP's
di
name.
New Zealand.
If they deal with
Wah.
VIP here cleanly, then all of the knocks, everything that's going on in the center of the zone is theirs for the taking.
Yeah, this is a really good game for AAP to turn the tournament around. Only 3 poor games, but you have one massive game, and suddenly you can get a bit of life back into the tournament. Especially on day number 1, High Command to fall to the nade again. Of course, they've been a duo since the very beginning of this game after they lost 2 at the cable cars.
Apa beruang putih toh?
Because, I mean, they've been able to at least find 1 kill, get some placement points. I mean, it's just scraping
Apa tuh?
Don
2
1.
points basically from this game, but
nggak nge-kill kan dia kan?
2 points is better than
Kill
nothing.
1, poin.
So they'll take that,
Poin
but it's
1.
Roman Kill that will get their kills. VIP also to fall very quickly after at the hands
Ini,
of both Alec and
apa?
Akita.
Disebut
of
apa?
AAP and EXO Clan. And I know this is
Jilid
going to be a
putih,
game where I think
biasanya kita
AAP
sebut.
put themselves in the best position to win, but EXO
Apa
Clan have
nih?
also had a massive game.
Beruang
To
kutub
get
apa
themselves
sih?
back
Apa
into
sih?
a really
Polar
Apa
bear
sih,
apa
guys?
sih
So
anjing?
all that top 3 after 3
Apa, Bang
games
Pal?
Russell had started to pull
Apa?
away.
Nice.
Everyone else gets a good catch-up game here on the
Yeah.
Yeti anjing.
Absolutely that. Even the
Itu
likes
bang,
of
maksud gua,
4
bang.
Piggies,
Ya itu baru gua ngomongin bareng sama lu lagi.
we're trying to put their name on the tops of the
Dari viewer
leaderboards.
baru.
Looks like Roman Kill's in a fantastic
Apa
spot
sih,
to
apa sih,
defend
apa sih
against
kata
this.
gue?
Even though these smokes are up, it can get a little bit dodgy.
Beruang
Apa
putih
sih
bang.
ya? Apa?
Just creeping inside the bottom of that smoke. He's gonna catch out Doughty.
Yevi Yevi benar.
And now
Nama
Roman
orang
Kill
itu bang.
have to respond.
Kayaknya.
Doughty's been
Waduh,
put down
waduh,
low
waduh.
as well. Roman Kill might lose a player here just via the proximity
Ini
of those
rumputnya
smokes and the
tinggi-tinggi banget.
cheeky prone from
Padi.
Flowy. That was dangerous. Little snake in the grass. But I don't think they're gonna get much more. Roman Kill look to be very entrenched behind these cars. 4 Piggies falling like flies.
Yeah, doing
Waduh,
quite
dibakar,
well. I mean,
Cok.
all things considered, there's a lot going on. They've got many
panas.
different angles that they've got to watch, left, right, north, everything. I mean,
Aduh toh,
but
top
it's
4 toh.
AAP that are
Kill
just cleaning
11,
out.
12 toh.
In a very commanding position. Alex in
Makin
Mulai
naik.
So,
Baru dibilang 8
mulai.
deh.
for a revive, he's going to have to do it very
Kayaknya
quickly.
chicken bang dia bang.
And they've got probably the time.
Aduh,
Roman
aduh.
Kill obviously have been able to survive that onslaught to the south side. And
Ngamuk
I think
bang
they
dia.
are going to be able to get Alec back up. Give them the 4 players, the P90.
Masih kenok kan
That
itu ya, bukan
distance
kayak
not
instan
going to
ya?
be good enough. Patrick with an A to go over, and they've got the high ground. They're surrounding.
Udah mulai bang,
Roman Kill.
HP-nya bang.
4
Udah mulai
versus 3,
kepanasan
they've
dia.
got the numbers, Nan. The savior gets the revive on
Apa
Alex,
si
so they have all
Selenet
4 players
nonton
up.
gue ya
Indo,
barusan?
Patrick and Elgin Bots doing a good job to hold the front
Iya.
line, not allowing Roman Kill to push out. Little jump up from Kenz.
Masa
Elgin Bots
kita
watching with a mini
digibain sama
4.
orang
So
Indo katanya.
Archangel Predator,
Masa lu terima orang
5
Indo di
points
atas
from
kita?
3 games, and they have flipped a switch on Vikendi, where a lot of other teams have gone cold, they've been hot, and they've been able to get themselves
Jadi
back
sekalinya
in a really
naik
good
tuh,
position
naiknya
to go
kenceng banget
over to
masa.
Miramar to close out night number
Gila.
1. They'll certainly be able to sleep
Dari rank
well
15,
tonight. So if they had
14
to
apa
bomb
15
that again
ya?
here on
14
Vikendi,
ya?
it could have been a real
Iya,
sleepless
14.
night.
Tiba-tiba
They now
langsung
set
7
themselves
nih
up to
bang.
at least close the night out, and a good sign on Miramar to
Killnya
follow
langsung
up
12
this.
pula.
We'll see if they can obviously bring
Pas
their
banget
Vikendi
lagi.
form
Ente
to
dah,
Miramar
dah bang.
first,
GG
but
GG GG.
either way, a big
Ya
win for them and a big
Zexwan
turnaround.
udah main Fanny aja
GG.
bang.
Start.
Udah bang.
One of the favorites.
Main Fanny juga tahu lagi.
Anjing rank 5 monyet.
Rank 5 anjing. Kawan.
Si kawan naik bro.
Semudah
GL
itu
kita,
dia
bro.
naik ya.
15 kill bangsat.
A little slow to get
Ya.
going, not just really the night, but also the map
Langsung
itself.
rank 5 bang. Dari 14 bang.
Salah nih di notice sedikit guys, tadi kayaknya langsung dah merasuki dari dari rank 14. Kelima.
Kita ngomongin kayak Exo Fury.
And a lot of the times in these kind of tournaments,
Kita
you see
ngomongin
these top
panjang
teams, they
AP,
might have
langsung
quite a
dia.
couple of games. It's just not often the first
Kacau,
game.
Dengerannya juga
That's really
panjang.
the main difference. So,
Kacau.
for
Kacau,
them,
kacau,
for their
ya.
sake, fortunately,
Ambil
able to
makan
turn
dulu
it
lah.
around and gets them
Ntar,
right
bro.
back in the conversation.
AP Indo kah? Bukan bang. Filipin ya, Beat. Nice beat.
About their expectations, and then they start off with 3 bad games. That can continue going on, but luckily,
Ih,
we actually
langsung
get a good performance
14.
from them.
Alright,
Langsung
let's go
14
to
dari
break. When we
14.
come back, 2 more games for PCR day 1. It's Miramar.
Welcome to the update 26.1, where you'll experience a rejuvenated Erangel, the return of tactical gear, the launch of a new ranked season, and much more. Let's get straight to it. Time to play Tourist again and re-explore Erangel, enhanced with new features and revamped landscapes. Gain new advantages by discovering secret rooms. Refine your tactics for the freshly redesigned ruins, Milta, and Stolber areas, and keep an eye out for our KFC collaboration that's finger-licking good. We are also reintroducing tactical gear after a brief hiatus, during which we fine-tuned and rebalanced it based on your crucial insights. Now re-established as a world spawn item, we've adjusted the performance of both the drone and spotter scope to better synchronize with the overall game balance. Check the patch notes for all the juicy details. Additionally, in an effort to elevate strategy and teamwork, each squad is now tagged with a unique number visible on the kill feed. Lastly, we've polished up the match report page to offer more precise, match-specific details. Consider it
Ya,
your personal
PPH.
analytics dashboard. There's plenty more packed into update 26.1.
Jadi
so make
tim Indo
sure
yang
to dive
mana
into
itu
patch
sudah
notes
dibalas
for
oleh
more.
naik bot ya, ada
And we'll
4
see you on the
biji.
battlegrounds.
Jangan lupa di like, yang belum like di subscribe, belum subscribe adik-adik, abang-abang, kakak-kakak. Cek sih sama Nandi di tim apa ya? TFT Pak ONC Bang Caca. Yang main sekarang bukan Jack soalnya Nando. Micun itu tim cadangan juga dia, manajer kayaknya dimasukin. Jack jadi camat ya. Tapi nggak lagi gacor tadi si Truk sih. Gacor sekali. Sayangnya tusun ya tadi. Tim Indo nggak tusun sih. Di pertengahan gugur duluan. Jadi Fury naik dah. Beres nonton main nggak Bang To? Nggak tahu ya. Sepertinya saya farming TikTok aja deh. Soalnya gue tadi lumayan capek habis review Warned. Trik ONJ juga deh. Like-nya digas sampai 300 yuk guys, gas. Apakah bisa mencari 45 orang pertama untuk nge-like dulu? Ngomong-ngomong gue bisa setting-setting gitu guys. Biasalah fitur. Gue hari-hari jadi mainin fitur mulu sekarang nih. Seru dah. Nih guys.
Ini tes lo. Ini tes lo.
Halo Bang Okto.
Halo Bang Okto.
Anjay. Bang Okto GG sekali. Muji diri sendiri.
Bang Okto gang sekali.
Hah? Kok geng sih? Oh mungkin maksudnya ganteng ya kan.
Bang Okto ganteng sekali.
Gokil. Buat TikTok.
Ini tes bang.
Nah, gitu gitu. Seru. Oh GG dipisah bisa.
GG.
Oh iya. GG dipisah ya. Gak jadi nyari kotak kah Bang To? Mungkin besok kali ya. Voting CS2 gak sih besok? Itu si Diki juga nonton. Gak bareng kah? Ya. Mana nih Bang Diki? Lah. Dia nonton apa aja? Tuh. 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 Tipu anjing. Pure tipu.
A bit of fun on Vikendi leaves AAP as the winners. A big bounce back game for them, gets them in a good position.
Tuh yang nanya OPM ya, langsung terjawab. Hari Sabtu ini tayang jam 10 guys. Mau gua reminder.
Toh, si Subatan Nobar juga toh.
Mana tadi kagak? Tipu anjing.
Nobar dia.
Kagak.
Ada 8 menit yang lalu. Oh mau pergi dia. Dia chicken nonton.
Oh. Tapi ditinggalin labnya.
Oke bang. Nggak tahu nih. Mau pergi dulu habis makan katanya.
Nontonnya
Iya
benar-benar
tadi
cuma
ditinggal.
8 menit doang.
Iya.
Iya mau dibuat premier enggak nih? Sabtu bersama S Magic. Enggak, konten gua maksudnya.
Certainly did. You can say obviously 4 different winners so far means we really haven't had
udah mulai.
opponents. I mean, even one call who have got themselves a bit of an established.
Premier apa tuh bang?
hari Sabtu jam 10 ya bang.
On Vikendi, they only got the 3 points. They had a massive game on Taker, somewhat
Ada?
similar
Apa?
to what we just saw from Arcade
Premier
Fire.
CS.
So that's where they got
Premier
the majority of
OPM
points
aja.
from. So even they haven't necessarily been controlling the whole night, being the
up.
ultra uber dominant
Iya.
team. It's been a pretty decent
Sama
lobby
Bang
so
MVP
far.
itu kan?
Hopefully it means it
Betul.
will continue to be that way. I feel like the next team maybe on the list, you saw the winners. We've had Fury, we've had AAP, one call. Is it time for ExoClan?
Oh, I hope so. They need to show.
I
They need
hope
to show.
so.
They haven't been playing kind of perfect EXO. I've seen glimpses of it, but it's not been perfect. And I know EXO, they're kind of that team along with Fury that can control
OPM
the
hari
edge so
Sabtu
nicely,
jam
it's
10
so nice
ya
to
bang.
watch. Haven't really seen that perfectly pay out.
OPM hari Sabtu jam 10 ya bang.
We'll see if it is going to be the case, especially on a map like Miramar, where that certainly can lean itself into favoring certain teams. We'll see if it does end up favoring ExoClan in this position. Of course, there's other teams as well. I think even from the future, they started really
Kalau
well.
kata-kata
They've been-
kasar
they've
gimana
been
ya?
good. We'll see if they can continue to perform. And more importantly, we go to a new map once again for the 3rd game in a row. Now we've got a whole different map, so it means
Ini
that
kapan
you
turnamen
have to
tuh?
be on your heels. There are
Nggak
some
dapat, nggak di
parts
ACC yang
being,
kemarin.
Nggak di ACC bang, nggak ada yang nggak ada yang tembus. Paling fun match aja lah, fun turnamen.
Iya. Dari kita dong berarti ya.
Iya.
I mean, I don't think
Mau yang per match juga boleh sih.
I think the changing of maps. Some people might think it messes with teams' heads. I don't think it does. I just don't think it's.
PCR ini kan kelar minggu ini, Bit.
to really mess
Nah,
with momentum or morale.
kita
What
gas
messes
di
those things the most is the
kapan ya?
performance of those games. So, you can
Minggu
have a
depan
map
nggak bisa gua.
go 1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Minggu depan gue juga nggak bisa.
Introduce Haven into the map.
Weekendnya.
You just
Minggu
chuck
depan
Haven
gua
in,
ada seminar.
and it still won't mess
Tapi
Sama
kalau
weekendnya.
hari biasanya bisa, Bit.
That's just performance in the game.
Kuliah kan.
Lah hari Jumat. Kayak sekarang.
Jumat bisa, Jumat. Sehari doang berarti semalam.
Sehari doang. Kan mini turnamen jatuhnya.
Boleh. Jumat bisa, Jumat kosong. Tapi apa? Nggak tahu kosong apa enggaknya tuh. Masalahnya dosen kan suka-suka hati nih kalau ada kelas tambahan.
Oke.
Nggak bisa mastiin itu. Tapi kosong Jumat. Gua nggak ada jadwal.
Awal Desember, buset jauh amat awal Desember bang.
2 bulan lagi.
Iya. Kok yang ini sih? Sorry guys. Salah tip.
Mulai tok.
Iya.
As you're saying though, you could probably throw in Haven, throw in another map and say let's just go 1-1-1 the whole way through. I think you could probably at this point just say alright, let's just have the
Kok ngambil mana ya? Sama nih sama 4 pick kayaknya.
At that point it's like
Perang awal paling.
I don't know. I like still
Arah-arahnya sama nih sesama Indo nih.
Arah. Coba gimana arah-arahnya, Bit?
Nah, arah bang.
Arah.
Pas.
Ini pesertanya dari negeri mana aja? Anjing, negeri. Kasih tahu, Bit.
Silakan bang, lagi makan.
Gue juga lagi makan.
Ya, moderator berarti. Kerja.
Nah,
Kerja gitu.
tolong jawab ya bang ya.
Udah rata.
Rata langsung.
Wih, Cup langsung kill 3 bro. Ngamuk. Indo yang mana aja guys? Indonesia aja bang, ketik bang. Kayaknya gue salah nih bikin Indonesia.
Gue lagi makan juga bang, mantap.
Ini monyetnya ditembak-tembak bro, mampus. Personal, Filipin Malay.
Mas Okto, bagaimana chance Gibran? Lah jadi Kenapa jadi Gibran ini? Gue kira chance tim Indo ya.
Lah bang, pas banget. Okto emang jurusan politik ya.
Pas. Kebetulan ekonomi politik gua. Jurusannya baru ya.
Pindados is a team that can have that big 20 kill game too. Seen it in the past. Although it looks like this lobby might be a bit too competitive for them. Did Delta Mix want to get involved?
Kan itu juga Indo mas, nice. Politik Indo ya.
Woi. Do. Itu namanya kotak do.
Banyakan nonton streaming ini.
Kamu pasti itu. Biasa klasik IGL bang. Klasik IGL. Tapi nggak tahu ya IGL FTF siapa? Di Rido atau di Edo?
Edok kayaknya Edok.
Nah, pas. Dua-duanya Edok.
Lah kalau manggil gimana ya? Do. Dua. Terus kalau misalkan Rido, Edo, Nando main gimana ya? Satu
Bener
tim.
juga. Kayak Beat, Jik, Dip. Betul. Gimana
Dik,
coba
Beat,
guys menurut kalian?
Jik, Zaman suram PB tuh.
Nah, makanya gue ganti Kamsal sekarang. Kampang. Nah. Do 1, Do 2, Do 3. Mendingan pakai warna dah gua manggilnya kalau gitu ceritanya. Iya, yellow. Kayak CS.
Anjing. Enggak sih, PUBG juga kita mainnya warna anjing kalau random.
Number 1 tuh
sama nomor.
kan PUBG. Kalau PUBG sih lebih ke angka ya. CS baru warna banget. Kalau Valo karakter.
Udah jelas.
Aja. Hey Bro Phoenix, Octo kan Bro Phoenix banget nih. Apa Jet player?
Nah yang bingung itu kalau PB ya, nggak ada identitas.
PB nah. Yang make Chris. Masa gitu?
Yang pakai Chris 3 ya kan? Itu pun bisa ganti-ganti.
Karakter Tarantula 55 Tarantula nanti. Kayak yang lama kan karakternya
Oh,
sama.
nyangkut.
It's just a matter of, do you want to play the north side? Do you want to play a lot of that sort of terrain just outside Los Leones, or play the
G1,
south side?
G2, G3 nah ribet makin ya.
Can try and probably play a little bit more defensive.
Itu udah kesimpan di dalam otak manggilan nama itu. Masa sebelum main nanti kita sebelum streaming kita ingat dulu ya, lu beat 1, lu beat 2. Tetap aja nanti dipanggil Octo beat 3-3 oleh. Tetap aja.
Gua aja sering tetap salah kok manggil Morbid jadi Jik Beat. Salah mulu anjing.
Jangankan itu, kita main sama orang yang beda biasa main PUBG ya, nanti kebiasa manggil Tok, kalau nggak ada Octo di situ.
Nice. Nice banget. Yang susah main Egi Nugi itu. Gi yang mana tuh? Ah, kudu jelasin gua. Momentum keburu hilang anjing.
Katanya jawab Egi. Nggak mungkin Nugi, nggak mungkin. Pasti Egi yang jawab.
Iya benar.
Yeah, I think going in too early as well ends up being a trap. You know, for how many games that we've seen on Miramar where teams send it Los Leones early on a circle like this and then getting out of the city becomes just almost impossible. So you gotta be very, very careful.
Nggak ada yang manggil Nuk. Nah, Nugraha, gua sama Nugi sama.
Nuk kadang. Makanya gue dulu tuh Nugi gue sering panggilnya Kri ya kan, Ice jadinya. Padahal jarang yang namanya To, kecuali Dito ya. Kemarin main sama Dito gue.
Dito kan Dito kalau
Dito CS 2. Nggak tahu Ditonya sama apa kagak yang sama Asilum.
DH To. Oh beda.
Pasaran soalnya kalau Dito.
Aduh TD.
Salah sarang TD.
Oh mau split.
Bagi Tok. Tok jatuhnya bukan To. Kecuali ada yang manggil gua Oktok ya kan, mungkin.
Dulu pernah tuh Octo main Apip Paul, Apip Artis. Oh iya benar.
Iya, itu gua bedain. Tipnya 2 soalnya.
Tahu lah lu aja nomor 1 mulu jadi warna kuning. Oh iya bener ya. Berarti udah diam nontonin mulu ya kami main ya. Alicia ini.
Woi kuning pasti kan ya.
Iya. Jaka gue pasti.
Kens is going to be there and he's going to be ready to shoot you, especially when zone 2, zone 3 pops. These guys are going to get closer and closer to those roads because they're going to get that much more desperate. That those are the only options. They're really the only options to begin with.
Yang ditonton Jaka bukan gua anjing.
It's going to be interesting, but it is quite funny how everyone's setting themselves up around
Nice.
as soon as it centers up, they all just
Itu plot twist. Gua ada GR kan. Gak bit, gua nonton Jaka mulu.
We'll see if that does eventuate. Minute 10, still a lot of real estate though that can be shifted onto by the circle, especially up towards the north.
Udah gitu Apip Artis pakai tanya ke Apip mau panggil apa pula. Iya makanya itu dia. Salingnya tadi. Tadi mau gua panggil Empip ya kan? Kagak mau.
Nih Tok, gua ini udah keren banget. Lu udah pernah masuk belum?
Udah.
Udah ya. Gua baru anjing, dalamnya gede banget.
Although the problem is you send it here and then the circle shifts up north and suddenly you kind of probably made the wrong call.
Hampir.
See what happens. Sometimes the circle does play against you.
Yang ngomong melukis tuh lihat guys, pro playernya susah. Ngerti nggak? Susah emang bro. Tak seindah PB yang gak ada bullet travel ya.
Does entail, of course, still a lot of room for it to move in and around Los Leones. If it does center up, though, expect a couple of teams to really think about sending it into the main city. But even if it does,
Tetep aja tuh kita ngomongin itu ada aja viewer begitu nanti datang.
Batu.
Batu.
Sabun melukis.
Beat ya. Beat.
Toh main toh udah pasti di otak itu. Udah, pokoknya kalau udah gua sabun nembak nih nggak kena, atau dari satu klip kenanya satu doang tuh udah muncul pasti kata-kata itu. Nah, itu pun gak ada yang kena tuh guys.
Anjing dibacutin sama Irfan tuh. Biasa di kopet nih. Yang ngomong ngelukis minimal main dulu lah baru komen. Gak bisa bang, emang tetap ada yang begitu. Mau digimanain juga.
Mau sedekat ini juga tetap susah tuh guys tuh.
Tapi kadang nggak ada yang viewer begitu, kayak kangen kalau
biar rusuh.
Iya.
Masa viewer terima-terima aja kan nggak seru.
Iya. Apalagi kita ya, kita terima aja lah chat itu. Emosi.
Memang gimana lagi ya kan. Cuman kalau lagi kena tuh biasa aja merekanya kan, nggak ada pujian gitu.
Iya
Nyebelin
bener,
anjing.
itu nggak ada pujian. Viewer itu nggak ada pujian dah. Pasti head. Nah itu head nomor 1.
Sekalipun ada
nomor 99.
Sekalipun ada paling tumben. Ya Allah tumben. Capek banget.
Itu udah hafal banget kita ya. Walaupun
Susah
ada pasti
payah.
orang-orang terdekat tuh kayak misalnya Babang, Big G, nah itu.
Nah ya
Kayak
bisa
yang udah
agak support
biasa.
ya. Udah agak.
Ya agak support. Nah
Lah tumben.
apalagi temen yang chat tadi. Misalnya gua chat di Octo, gua juga begitu. Octo di
Lah,
orang juga
tumben.
begitu.
Memang sebenarnya kita tuh lagi ngomongin diri kita sendiri guys.
Mendaging, udah mendaging.
Hoki itu ya kan. Hoki banget udah jelas.
Kalau sudah mandi udah bro, habis ngeratain Nacenda dia. Yang lucu sih kalau Octo pakai shotgun ngakak mulu gua. Itu
Tapi emang itu susah bro kalau
Itu.
gue. Emang gak cocok.
sama. Gua juga nggak bisa pakai shotgun peluru 5 dah. Nggak jelas coy.
Yang paling bermasalah gue tuh sebenarnya apa? Yang 14 pelurunya DBS. Karena gue suka lupa tuh abis nembak satu gue reload. Pas mau dardarin orang gue ngokang duar gitu anjing. Jadi kacau ke tempo gue sendiri. Selain sabun ya. Tapi ini sakit banget ya.
Memet helmet anjing.
Itu di bom bisa dong harusnya.
Saudaranya bisa. Tim Indo yang mana Bit? Ketik
Anjing.
Indo. Gak lama ada nih yang chat tumben kena udah tadi.
Udah telat.
Jangan kita jago aja. Diam tuh anjing. Nggak ada yang chat satu pun.
Ada viewer
Ada
baru,
orang terdekat.
kadang viewer baru
Iya.
yang baru nonton. Wih GG. Itu belum akrab biasanya, abu-abu
Belum.
biasanya.
Udah akrab udah.
Kalau udah akrab, udah ijo-ijo tuh, udah. Tumben. Kok tumben?
Abis bagus kan, terus kita mati langsung. Baru langsung tuh muncul semua anjing.
Toh main toh, udah
Pasti.
capek anjing. Siklus chat gitu doang.
Padahal sebelumnya kita jago banget kan.
Nggak peduli anjing, nggak peduli, tutup mata.
Pas mati baru muncul semua. Tai.
Bang main bang, nah gitu contohnya tuh.
Justru kalau nggak jago hiburan kami Bit. Iya itu sama, kami ngomongin diri sendiri juga.
Kebetulan.
Aduh, satu hit, 2 hit, mana satu?
Dua lah itu.
sesuai dengan namanya one tap akhir tuh.
Iya.
Masa empatnya mati di tempat yang sama nih?
Ini bentar lagi.
Lucu banget nih.
Ah udah rata
Sakit
ini.
kepala nih sumpah.
Rata
Sakit
ini.
kepala nih.
Enggak, dia dibantai sama satu orang anjing.
Iya makanya.
Ya elah, closing
satu.
segala. Bundir lah. Bang sakit banget. Lah kok sakit banget bang.
Sakit ya Dragunov ya. Itu tuh kerasa yang kami rasakan guys, ditembak Dragunov.
Dan kena ya bedanya. Kena.
Soalnya Dragunov ada kritikal.
Nah bentar hilang.
Peluru satu, peluru kedua tuh nah lebih gede tuh peluru kedua, pelurunya apa damage-nya. Kadang meta nanya itu nomor titik-titik random ya bang.
Iya biasa.
Pasti.
Itu meta keculik di awal. Perang satu keculik. Nah pasti muncul lah.
Warna random ya bang. Ya.
Warna nomor random. Kalau di yang matinya nobar turnamen apa bang? Capek tuh. Capek banget. Watch party kalau enggak kekinian watch party kalau sekarang sebutannya.
Iya benar. Lagi viral nih watch party. Padahal nobar biasanya. Yang chicken FTF, ONC, Fury, satu lagi.
AP barusan bro.
Oh iya AP.
AAP. Dari berapa ranknya? Dari 14 D.
14 bang.
Naik ke 5 sekarang turun ke 6. Berhasil nyebrang itu?
Apa? Oh iya.
Si VIP.
Nggak kita tonton.
Kapan nyebrang?
Gue jadi keinget lu sabun sore berapa hari yang lalu. Kalian mah inget gue kagak? Karena gue yang main gak tahu match keberapa.
Dapat tuh NC. Tukeran maksudnya. Pas main pernah ketemu salah satu tim yang tanding ini ngebit lah. Kebetulannya ada temen sendiri nih bang yang kebetulan ada korban UMP Yochim enggak ada di sini.
Beda itu bang, itu beda bang. Thailand bang.
Salah berarti guys. Tapi Yuki kamu sering sih. Lumayan. Kasih tahu Bit siapa aja timnya. Don 1 Cibirit.
Ketik aja Indo bang. Nah itu 50%-nya sering main.
Sering mabar. Lebih tepatnya emang mabar itu mah. Bukan ketemu lagi bang. ONC FTF udah pasti teman mabar. Nah kalau yang AHA sama Forpic ini kayaknya nggak pernah ya gue.
Nggak pernah. Gue pernah sama anak AHA. Kalau Forpic siapa aja ya? Ada mungkin.
Ada hawanya. Nando ONC bang.
Ke bandana dong. Dapatkan Nando. Gue kira Nando Cimoy ternyata.
Yuki kamu
dipus Indo lagi ketemu Indo. Birit paling sering itu dibunuh temennya nggak bro? Nah, itu gue nggak tahu ya. Sering
dibunuh teman nggak mungkin.
Biasanya
profesional
ya, biasanya orangnya tuh ketak sorry kepentok keyboard.
Lah itu baru kemarin.
Itu baru terjadi kemarin.
Bukan biasanya kalau itu. Emang lagi mentok aja gue lagi ngubah posisi keyboard soalnya.
Aduh, ONC.
ONC.
Aha, Indo nggak apa-apa. Poinnya untuk Indo tuh. Meledak dong mobilnya itu.
Wah, kebalik meledak. Nah. Don 5 anjing.
Don sekota itu bang. Udah mau meledak, bannya pecah tuh.
Dan tergelincir muter
Sama
Wih,
aja
dapet-
lompat dari
dapet
mobil mati.
FTF nih, Dek.
Oh no.
As much as you were rambling on, I never believed. Sorry, Russell. I know you're very smart, but
Wih, masih dapat kill lumayan.
Aduh, AP, aduh. Tahu.
Tiba-tiba muncul.
Pelan-pelan Bang, AP.
Si Patrick tadi ikut nggak sih? Patrick, Selenet.
Enggak dong. Enggak main deh.
Kalau giliran gini mah nge-coach doang ya?
Ya. Kecuali ada yang nggak bisa main. Tapi satu bootcamp sih harusnya.
He's making me look like a fool. But it's not even about holding that compound. It's just about the info that it gathers. Either way,
It's all about.
Aja match ini beat siapa?
in their edge control as well.
Fury kayaknya.
Western side, and there are so many more fights. So we have to spectate. Roman kill and
Buta tuh Bang, masuk Bang.
Wah.
Cing. Wih, apaan tuh?
Bro. Tiba-tiba dia dengar step langsung banting, Cok.
Banting juga langsung jerok. Itu
Salah
masuk.
Ya.
Yang itu kaget ya. Door. Ada bom. Smoke ya tadi. Pindahan Bang Subaton lah. The Basko.
Pergi dia kan.
Pergi.
Istirahatan PC.
Iya benar. Kudu wajib
Tim
tuh.
susah squad kapan ikut turnamen kayak gini, Bit? Nah, ini besok ada sama turnamennya.
Kebetulan besok itu kita bakal bikin turnamen sendiri ya kan. Nah, yang daftar kawan-kawan sendiri ya.
Qualifier PGI kalau nggak salah. Slot invited streamer. Udah nggak ada ya? Udah nggak ada,
Bang.
Bang.
Padahal lumayan Bang itu.
Main dapat cuan Bang. Temen gua.
Asli bro. Main doang dikasih duit gua. Lumayan lagi duitnya.
Walaupun yang mainnya hadiahnya nggak dapet tuh.
Nah betul.
Streamernya dapat tetap invite.
Invite streamer bisa dapat ya.
Hadiahnya 1-3. Mau tim invite-nya mau rank 20 juga dapat Bang. Hadiah orang dalam namanya.
Ibaratnya kalau di kita tuh ada juara harapannya guys, udah pasti ada gitu duitnya. Memang gak sebesar orang-orang itu ya kan, cuman tetap aja ada duitnya gua.
Tetap aja mainnya cuman fun doang, gak mikir kayak player.
Nah, yang bangsat itu kalau kita udah invited, juara lagi.
Nah itu aneh banget.
Pernah waktu itu ya kan. Itu kayak ya udah duitnya double. Kita tuh selalu nanya, Mas ini kalau kita menang dapat apa gimana ya? Dapat Mas, ya Allah. Kagak enak banget itu kan.
Kayak rezeki.
Ya udah gue cupu-cupuin gitu kan, anjing. Enggak lah, emang berserak aja.
Emang jago gak sih?
Waktu itu berserak.
Rendah gini ya?
Lah. Tapi emang pernah juara 3, juara 2, juara 1 gitu kan.
Itu kan gue bilang merendah Bang. Merendah ini.
Ya salah. Kebetulan emang nggak ada abang-abangan yang lain aja.
Gue belum tahu tentang Pubg itu. Masih BB Bang.
Sayang banget PUBG lagi grindingnya itu. NP dia lagi bakar duit deh kata dia. Lu bayangin tiap turnamen invited itu prize poolnya 20 juta Bit. Coba zaman sekarang 20 juta siapa prize pool coba? Yang wanet aja 15 juta.
Iya. Ah, yang AEKV udah gue tuh. Nggak lolos aja di region ya.
Itu lebih lama apa udah air lah mulai menghilang. AEKV attack terakhir dah kalau nggak salah.
Nah itu. Darahnya 2 bro.
Oh, tapi itu laseret sih.
Iya.
Juara harapan tuh. Lah.
Batu tuh kasih tahu.
Ingat ya panci kita tuh ada di kopet guys. Kalian tanya Kopet ya panci-pancinya. Gue lupa Kopet tuh panci emasnya 2 apa yang kita berempat ya, kayaknya 2 dah.
Nah kalau untuk info itu gua, waduh ngepron Rido gaming buddy ditembak Fury juga ternyata ya, langsung ngepron. Terakhir sih Acer Predator yang ada prize poolnya Indo. Nah kebetulan itu gua lolos ya itu. Tapi jadi ikan pas di Jakarta nih.
Nice.
Yeah, and there was a brief moment where AAP were very close to third.
Gimana tadi? Aha, kill Aha.
The team they wanted to third party off of went down really quickly.
Gimana sih tadi?
Udah kayak nggak ada harapan hidup tuh. Mau di revive nggak bisa tadi kena tembak. Bunuh aja kayaknya. Gua bunuh aja lah. Nyusahin lu. Gitu kan.
Itu begitu.
Matiin tuh biar nggak usah kasih kill lagi.
Tapi yang bunuhnya Fury anjing.
Iya. Sama mau dibilang benar tapi tetap benar, salah juga salah.
Makin gacor dia ke atas.
Mana pancinya satu doang di Kopet. Tuh. Satu doang.
Yalah.
Satunya
Kasih
lagi
tahu,
di Egi.
Kasih tahu aja dulu guys.
Tuh. Di Egi. Playernya aja lupa, viewer yang inget nih.
Iya. Sejujurnya gue lupa makanya gue lempar. Gue lempar aja.
Malah ingetan viewer daripada player.
Kasih tahu tuh stream deck yang nggak diambil di Aerof. Iya benar-benar. Itu juga itu betul ya. Sebenarnya gue punya stream deck ya di Aerof, nggak gue ambil. Ujung-ujungnya beli sendiri.
Duo sama Egi kalau nggak salah.
Ya Kopet sama Egi tuh yang juara.
But Fury need to use the space that they do have. Panic as well on this north side of the road. Fantastic job that they took up Indados. Imagine they had to waste time now. This is AAP making the send that they absolutely had to make. The only option they really had.
Aduh, timing banget tuh.
He's very low HP though. It doesn't matter. He'll get one. Nan looking the wrong way. The nades come out as well. This is going to be an absolute brawl.
Fix.
Underarm nade goes
Wow.
Can it find success? Yes, it can. Evil Patrick with one onto White.
Yuki Kamuko.
Lands and sticks.
Ganti-gantian aja nih.
DC ya? Karakternya
miring emang lagi miring. Octo siapa yang chicken ini? Susah sih.
Jadi pensi gua sekarang ya, pensi gua. Udah berempat, nggak ada gangguan lagi di seberang.
Tapi nggak tahu nextnya. Kudu nyebrang.
Exo, ini harus main smoke mulu. Wow.
Ih, one more.
Hampir tuh pala tuh.
Buh. Emang alek-alek ini ya. Boleh.
AWM bro, keluar tuh gitu tuh AWM.
Duski. AP sudah mulai ada kesempatan langsung kedua ya, saya lihat ya. Agak ngegas ya, dari 14 langsung kedua tuh gimana ya? Dia chicken kedua ini bang, masalahnya nih.
Oke, sama Beryl sakit mana? Beryl lah. Peluru coklat semuanya lebih sakit bang. Tapi recoilnya bedanya di recoil. AUG sakit sih, orang AUG semua tuh kalau damage-nya di atas Beryl. Sama kok nggak enaknya peluru coklat tuh berat, lebih berat ya pada peluru hijau. Ini dari tadi tuh masih hidup berdua tuh.
Si VIP ini.
Iya, ini ditembakin Fury tadi di atas.
Bener. yang berhasil nyebrang rangkak.
Iya.
Dia nggak berubah-ubah di situ ya, zonanya gila dah.
Augie masih dari drop kagak. Augie udah langsung apa sih ngomongnya tuh? Di tanah.
Ground.
Ah.
Udah drop on the ground, in the brain, in the bus, and the bro.
VIP mati.
And they continue to just clean up the kills here. They've done a really good job on this northern side. There's the double. They get rid of both members of VIP.
PV nggak zone, jangan nyebrang. Waduh.
Berani
juga nyebrang. Oh, dapat timingnya. Hampir meninggal. Mau dipus. Gila ini, bentar. Ini bisa rank 1 nih Bang To.
Kan sudah gue bilang Bang.
PNC nih. PNC.
Oh PNC-nya.
PNC ini Bang. Oh, bisa nggak ya?
Bener juga. Diem nih Bang.
Nih PNC diam-diam nih Bang.
Diam nih.
Kita predik Bang.
Enggak, dia masih rank 2 sih. Mentok-mentok 55 55 dia.
51. Oh dia rank 1 tuh.
55 ininya poinnya.
Kan 3.
Kan 6 sama 10 kan juara apa rank 2 rank 1 tuh.
Iya.
Iya, poinnya 7 maksimal nambahnya.
Ini udah nambah 6 ya.
Ah,
iya,
susah. Susah guys.
Benar.
Salah
Gua
matematika.
nambahnya 6 tadi, Cok. Gua
Nice.
lupa kan langsung nambah poinnya. Gua nambah 6 bukan nambah 4.
Nambah 7 total.
Tujuh.
Iya, dari 48 tuh tambah 7.
Oh, kill 3 iya.
Iya, kill 3. Tuh.
Nah,
Lihat nih, stroke. Loh, 55 kan?
Betul.
Ngerti enggak guys kalian? Ah!
Anjing kill 13 lah, masih ONC, Bro. 20. 16 doang kecil. ONC, Bro, 20.
20 tapi rank 2 tuh. Rank 2. Match kedua ya. Match 3 4 5 match 45 jeleknya dia. Apa 3 4 5 tadi?
MK12 atau 14? 14 Bang. Yang coklat apa tuh? 14 atau 12? Gua lupa.
14 kakaknya Bang.
Kakaknya 14 Bang. Pokoknya peluru coklat enak. Yang begitu tapi recoil.
Tapi ada yang kakaknya banget 47 itu kurang banget ya.
Di belakangnya emang ada ini campuran manusia sama mutan.
Agak hybrid dikit ya.
The broadcast you're watching has ended. Astaga.
Rada stun kangkung gua tuh hitung-hitungannya nice. Jadi rank 2 itu poinnya 6. Jadi kalau udah 2 orang sisa, 2 tim sisa, itu dua-duanya ditambahin 6 guys, ya kan. Berarti kan ke rank 1 beda 4 ya kan. Jadi kita megangnya poinnya 4 plus sisa musuhnya ada berapa? 3. Oh berarti maksimal dia dapat poin 4 plus 3 kill jadi 7 gitu guys ngitungnya tadi. Makanya gue tahu 55 hasilnya. Ah! Kecuali ada yang zone ya tiba-tiba.
The return of tactical gear, the launch of a new rank, and much more.
Ingat guys besok
OPM hari Sabtu jam 10 ya Bang.
Time to
Nah.
play tourist again and re-explore Erangel, enhanced with new features and revamped landscapes. Gain new advantages by discovering secret rooms. Refine your tactics for the
Indo
first
semua kan?
Sekarang.
ruins, Milta, and Stolber areas.
Erangel, Miramar, Deston kan salah. Erangel, Miramar, Vikendi, Tego.
We are also
4.
reintroducing tactical gear after a brief hiatus, during which we fine-tuned and rebalanced it based on your crucial insights. Now re-established as a world spawn item, we've adjusted the performance of both the drone and spotter scope to better synchronize with the overall game balance. Check the patch notes for all the juicy details. Additionally, in an effort to elevate strategy and teamwork,
Cukurukuk. Ya, bareng
a
lagi.
unique number visible on the
Capek banget.
Saatnya kita mau kemana toh? Kira-kira lu mau ke Thailand atau Vietnam? Nunggu.
match-specific details.
Banyak Bang turnamen Bang. Iya banyak.
Oh, ikut turnamen
Cina
sama
pun ada.
Vietnam.
More package to update
Ya, Thailand apa Vietnam?
Ah, gue nonton dulu aja berarti.
And we'll see you on the
Nonton
battlefield.
apa?
Discord lu.
Oh,
Lah, loading.
Thailand kita.
Nah,
Hah? Loading. Thailand berarti kita ya.
coba.
Oh, pas banget. Mau chicken. Emang pas.
Detrade.
Bang tahu kita butuh
Kok udah match
bentaran
30
nonton.
anjing? Banyak amat.
Week 3, udah week 3 mereka.
Hah? Week 3.
Thailand Vietnam bro, banyak bro. Seru bro.
Wih. Wih.
Wih. Satu pisang.
Ada iya.
Semuk.
Wih.
Pelan-pelan pisang. Mati dari kanan nih.
Berserak dikit. Aihi.
Balik.
Ya ini juga kebetulan lagi di Thailand guys. Buh. MTH nih deh.
Rank
FW
1
deh.
nih FW nih. Waduh,
Dikit
ngeliat.
lagi. Mati satu, belakangnya nunggu mati. Bunuh dulu dikit.
Aduh. Seru banget anjing. Ini sempet-sempetnya.
Udah gak ada util ya?
Dapat lagi. Nggak ada.
Leng langkangku.
Siapa menang toh? Beneran lawan gua.
Detrade sih kayaknya sih.
Oke.
Norin gua megang Norin. Nggak jadi. Langsung kalah ya. Jusepi lalepo.
Như trong chingking. Cơ trực hia.
Aihia.
Vietnam. Banyak banget turnamen. Bisa kita tonton semua nih. Tuh, yang nonton 13 doang.
Iya, beda dikit aja.
Aduh. 1000.
Ngelek gini. Coba lo.
Ini Thailandnya lupa matiin.
Ui, như vậy là từ một thế 4v2 nó lại trở về là 2v2
Dari kemarin yang lu pilih selalu kalah ada Mas tuh nggak tahu deh. Đừng lâu tak đừng đúng ing.
Bang, buffer bang. Biasa dikali 2 kali 2. Nah.
Ini lagi 331 turnamen series, jatuhnya liga ya.
Iya, mereka begitu tuh liga.
Liga.
Ini red dot kamu mana bang? Jatuh kan pasti kan? Gara-gara sering pakai kali-kalian nih. Jatuh nih red dotnya. Sama kayak gua. Tasnya kepenuhan. Red dotnya
2. Wih. Gimana?
Dia dapet tuh.
Lah.
Dia ngelempar bom juga.
Trade kill. Tapi jatuhnya instan sih.
Iya.
G itu global elite kan ya?
Salah bang.
Genesis Esport.
Genius.
Oh, genius.
Metal di gua masih hidup. Ya Allah, nggak ada kill kau. Kenapa sih? Ini toh, nih si Metal D nih toh D1 D2 gacor banget. Gua pick kan untuk kayak dia dapat poin gitu. Nggak ada kill dia sama sekali.
Lu bau juga berarti.
Anjing.
Wih.
Tuh Epot lagi yang dapet. Kasihlah Metal D.
Lagi flank dia, sabarlah.
Metal D gua nih dapet nih 2 nih. Oke, flank kanan terus. Ya betul. Itu mati lu.
Kelamaan anjing, kasihan.
Họ đang cố gắng tận dụng tham minh để có thể cứu sơ ti và e-sport nếu đẩy qua pha này là cực kỳ đẹp luôn nhưng không được. Lỡ mất cái tham minh đó rồi nhưng còn
Nah, ini Metal dulu nih. Nah.
Và giờ thì có lẽ là dấu chấm hết của XS chẳng. Một mình
Ini gacor juga cuman ente ya.
Anti flash.
Trước khi nằm lại thôi. Và Zinus có thoải
Anti
mái.
flash CS bang.
Tapi bener tuh, itu ternyata ngaruh.
Phải chung.
Lu ngadep belakang.
Nggak selama depan pasti.
Mati dong Yuli, lu open begini.
Ya
dibilang kan mati kan. Genius langsung rank 2. Nih toh. Gua pick tuh lihat.
Lu taruhan
ada CS juga kagak. Ada CS nih, CS ini. Tiba-tiba rank 900 gua nih. Taiwan gua. Allahu Akbar.
Rank 900
Nih,
dari
Vietnam. Dari nggak tahu, semua dunia ini. Tuh.
dunia.
Tuh metal di tuh.
Itu 35.000 maksudnya harga pemainnya, Bit?
Iya,
Oh, ada nggak Nando?
dia kayak ada harusnya, tapi nggak tahu udah kenapa PCR nggak masuk ini. Dia nanti dikasih 100.000 dari webnya ini, $100.000. Terus kita beli pemainnya.
Oh iya.
Nanti kalau misalnya lu 1-100 dapat duit mana ya?
Wah, judi guys.
Oh ini. Orang gua nggak ngeluarin apa-apa kita orangnya. Tuh, dapat 3.000.
3.000
bisa.
TP itu setara
Bisa diganti gini, Bang.
3.000 G-coin ya jatuhnya ya, kurang lebih.
Betul.
1.000-nya ya lumayan. Wah, judi guys. Tak seindah kemarin. Oh itu bajunya, Bit. Bawa baju Bit. Nah, itu baju PGC bukan tuh? Oh, bukan Derken. Gue kira PGC. Yang dipakai caster, Bro.
Collab nih pasti. Oh. Pasti collab nih. Nih
Mahal
dari
banget
rank 60 nih kemarin tuh PUBG Vietnam gua. Tuh. 60 ke 700 dikit
Nice.
lah, nggak ngaruh, aman. 700. Udah main, Bro.
Underperform semua dong.
Vietnam. Iya. Week 1 dong mereka bagus. Tenang, 3 week Vietnam. Aman aja.
28, 29, 30, 2, 3,
3-2, 3-3, 4. Enggak ada 3-3-nya.
Enggak ada, langsung 4. Langsung 6, langsung 8. Kenapa 2 detik sekali dah? Nice. Seralu dah, Bang.
Baju mahal amat, pasti mahal nggak sih baju collab gitu?
Well, we did have that little hot drop past the end of last game. I mean, it really didn't last very long. So
kita lihat anak-anak turun di mau ke San Martin itu FTF ya.
Monte mereka.
ONC Monte, FTF
San Martin.
Tapi kok belok?
Cuman mereka berdua yang gue tahu.
Oh emang. Begitu sih. Oh TF deh anjing, salah lihat. FTF.
Dicari-cari sama viewer. Udah datang guys orangnya guys.
Siapa, Bro?
Perang, Bro.
PE, there's VIP as well. They're close by over towards Kintara. Can't see too much
Tadi
else.
lu dicariin kemana si panci emas gitu, Mas.
Oh iya benar-benar.
Bang,
Nih,
zonanya, Bang.
kasih tahu ya.
The city itself is large enough that you don't have to necessarily fight, but
aman zonanya dekat memang.
Close enough to each other, and we do get
Banyak
a
pembegalan sepertinya.
southeastern circle for our final game of the night.
Interesting to see how that Red
PUBG
Sea
beda ya
AH
hitungannya langsung angka
drop
genap.
pans out.
Emang tadi kayak aneh deh itu observer.
Umami.
Titan Foxy rotating all the way to the north. Bandado's hot on their tails.
Gitaan Foxy. Wah, anjing dikejar kah? Real kah?
Any more Fury Road action, I think.
Ngeker-ngeker itu.
Halo
tuh, Bang,
BNN
ngejar.
Bit judi. Nah, jadi BNN anjing. BNI enggak sih?
Astagfirullah.
JO is going to be wanting something completely
Udah mah
Oh,
different.
BNN
BSI.
lagi.
We missed something.
Nice
Maybe the
BSI.
rest of Pindados that did that.
Kayaknya BNIB dah harusnya
Be the case.
He's
yang
just
ngurusin
not.
gini.
Lah,
Be Water's
tergantung
coming
kalau
over
udah
now.
dibuka dari box.
Lah
Ada yang
BNOB.
kena, Bang, kiri lu, Bang. Bang, kiri lu ada yang kena, Bang. Sumpah, Bang.
Mana tahu dia morbid lu kata WH.
Gua kasih tahu, Bang.
That's my assumption.
Tuh,
Oh no.
di
They knocked him
balik
from
wall
far,
itu, Bang, ada
and
yang
now
kena.
they're searching for him.
They don't know
Ya,
exactly
nggak
where it
jadi
might have been to
keripep.
the precise location. Could be the case, yeah. I think that might be
Eh,
probably a little bit more.
minus.
Ini berapa round, Bang? Round terakhir abangku.
Didn't quite make too much
Up.
sense.
Bot minus, bot.
Through the whole light
Udah round terakhir aja.
Ever so slightly, but up close.
Udah
Shotgun,
dari jam
talking
5, Bang.
about one
Enggak nungguin
shot
lu
good
Pet,
night.
kacau banget ya.
That is an easy
Zona
kill,
PUBG
and
masih
Red
bisa
Sea
di air
will
nggak?
happily deal
Nggak
with
bisa.
rushing home. Really
Udah nggak ada
comfortably, all
zona
four
air.
players up. You get the four kills.
Tapi kita
Mobile
pernah zona
bisa.
pulau ya,
So
itu
especially on the
menyusahkan.
circle,
Ah,
this is a mega
itu
power play for
nanti.
Red Sea Esports.
Rada tai ya itu.
Berarti ini yang menang antara ONC apa PNC nih berarti nih.
Belum, Bang.
You can risk losing
3
one
hari
hot job
sampai
like
Minggu.
that, but they did not.
Sampai Minggu.
They'll be ecstatic with that.
Sampai Minggu.
Betul.
He's gonna get res.
Besok jam 3, Minggu jam 3.
Pindados left, but I think they were too close either
Dia
way.
coba tanya ke
So no way he's gonna get res. they'll claim the knock and they
Ke
won't even know where he
orang
where he died.
98 itu
So,
ntar malam dia live apa
well, I
enggak?
hope they
Anjing
claim the
batu
knock at
banget
least.
lu.
When Tazzy bleeds out, I'm
TO
expecting
dulu.
one of them to have a 1 next to their
Lu
name.
gila ya.
Live dong.
It would be quite sad if they didn't.
Live tuh. Rajin Mas Pet sekarang live.
Oh, wait,
Lah.
he did knock.
Enggak ada banget. Langsung diam. Langsung kesel.
Kata dia anjing miss lagi.
Ya Allah.
Dia nembak tapi miss beat terus mati kan anjing ya.
Udah bleeding lama banget.
Kata dia, "Iya anjing, guys, aku punya cerita." Pasti cerita ke temennya barusan tuh.
Ada orang kenok ternyata, bro. Gagal kita dapat 1 poin.
Gua tembak dia langsung mati.
Menang kemana, Bit?
Teguh, makasih Teguh.
Menang.
Wih, ada TP guys ya. Makasih 13
Tergantung ada
bulan.
2 slot nih yang diperebutkan. Jadi kalau dari turnamen ini 1 sampai 4 itu slot untuk PASC Asia, turnamen Asia. Terus yang tiket kedua itu untuk tim ONC, Fury, AP sama EXO untuk PGC.
Berarti itu udah tiket pasti.
Pasti.
Dari poin.
Untuk 4 tim itu. Dari poin udah kumpul-kumpul dari PCR 1, ini kan PCR 2.
Tapi ONC syaratnya harus rank 1 ya, Bit ya?
Iya.
Sama apa aja tadi?
Sama 3 tim itu nggak boleh top 3.
Soalnya kalah poin nanti.
Betul.
At all.
ONC, Nando, Cimoy, Cibirit, Trik. Trik tadi, wah.
Gacor dia.
ONC kill 20, bro. Gila. Chicken. Itu bukan gue yang nyupir ya. Orang lain itu. Bukan gue tuh.
Enggak sih, lu banget sih itu. Tapi sampai sekarang masih kepikiran tuh yang tadi Bit. Anjing 1 kill.
Malaikat pencabut nyawa anjing. Barusan turun. AP.
Nggak pede itu perang kayak itu. Ya,
AP tadi
harusnya
sepi
AP
Pet
lah.
dia 3 match pertama ya kan. 4 match keempat gua ngelihat dia masih rank 14. Poin 8. Gua bilang tumben nih. AP udah masuk match keempat masih 8. Tahu-tahu langsung naik rank 5 Pet. Langsung chicken. Match kelima tadi langsung naik lagi. Langsung top atas babi kata gue nih.
Ayo gue bilang pencabut nyawa anjing.
An opportunity for teams to obviously relocate, get into some good positions, kind of somewhat what we just saw from.
Kita menang hoki lawan dia aja nggak pernah tuh.
With that emergency parachute, a lot of other teams of course quite far away. No further than Exoclane towards Alpozo, which is quite some.
The player PGC.
Paling mentok menang kasihan anjing.
Probably one of the top teams that hasn't actually found a win. Everyone else has been able to find a win.
Mungkin menang kalau kita setup, nah bisa mungkin bisa. Kayak dia apart, dia push.
Tapi waktu di Tego kita menang kok. Dia sisa 2 orang dah kalau nggak salah.
Jadi perindapan dong kita anjing.
Iya itu dia. Yang mana tuh?
Tego yang silent net di sikat duluan. Lu nggak ada.
Oh itu bukan nama, nggak ada Maspet. Ada gua kan gua yang bunuh mereka.
Ada gua nonton itu gua nonton.
Yang kita di Peles kan itu. Bang
Biasa
kenapa?
Bang.
Iya. Udah gitu. Nah mati, tetap mati lah. Itu jatuh.
Anjing bodo amat ya.
Itu jatuh buru-buru banget tuh turun dari mobil anjing.
Iya ini turun dari mobil padahal ngejar 1 orang doang ya. Anjing lompat meninggal.
1 orang banda pecah ya kan.
Satu kill di otak dia udah gitu pasti. Kayak yang tadi lah masih kepikiran.
Apa?
Kita lanjut.
Enggak, gue tidur. Wih,
gue juga farming TikTok doang lagi. Capek dulu.
Gue takut diomelin lagi kalau main malam mulu.
Morbid udah berubah pasti sekarang.
Hai, bener sih.
Seminggu ini sih gue ngedengar kata-kata itu terus ya.
Ya emang nggak bisa bro, kalau nggak diomelin mah gue main mulu.
Iya kan gue bilang seminggu ini. Nggak ada nyalahin.
Never a nice way to end
Tapi sebenarnya gara-gara ngantukan aja sekarang Pet dia.
All the wins except for Furies have been
Nggak
over
ada.
2 kills.
Ya
Jujur
karena
aja
itu
toh.
ngantuk kan bangun pagi bang.
Gue sebenarnya ngantuk banget itu.
Gue juga ngantuk banget ini, cuman harus kerja gitu ya kan. Demi kalian. Demi kalian.
Which is par for the course for APAC. Everyone kind of sends themselves into your line of sight trying to make something happen. And then you will happily take all the knocks for free.
Nah tuh guys, ban itu susah guys.
Wonder who that's going to affect. Maybe Pindados, they're coming from the north. They might want to take that car, but no longer. If they're able to pop those tires, I don't actually know. It was way too far away for me to even see.
Iya pengen aja,
Like the attempt.
gemes gitu liatnya.
Best on the ammo.
Tapi bagaimanapun juga mereka tetap Beats selalu bawa smoke.
Yeah, I mean you got to shoot
Granat
your shot,
tuh,
right?
Beats.
Sometimes
Apa?
it might land,
Launcher.
sometimes you might get a bit fortunate.
Emang pasti bawa.
Sometimes you get
Karena
rejected.
tambahan.
Well, sometimes that does
Soalnya
happen.
langsung pecah soalnya.
It's just fought up
Jangankan
for
itu
Dusky,
smoke
Panic,
yang
another
biasa
kill.
aja gue biasanya bawa 6 tuh.
Tonight,
Kalau ada emang
up to
space.
56 points, one shy of
Enggak,
one
maksudnya
call.
itu mereka pasti bawa satu
Iya,
tapi
langsung
Spoke before about
pecah.
some of the
yang ada di
calculations
badan
needed
doang,
for them.
sisanya mah ditinggalin.
Ya, pelurunya
Quite in the
dibuang. Sama
territory
gue
of
juga
really
gitu.
doing that, 'cause I think
Karena
Iya.
berat pelurunya.
calculations will require a lot of input from very
Lebih mending
many
smoke
different
biasa
variables.
pada tembakan smoke pelurunya.
The
Yang penting
TLDR
ada
will
ekstra
most likely
satu bang.
be that
Betul.
they would need the likes of, you know, Roman Kill from the future
OEC sama PNC
to
rapat nih.
overtake the likes of Fury
Rapat
and
deh.
AAP.
Yeah. Very specific outcomes need to happen for them to qual, but we did say it, they'll still be thinking about it like that. Where's this gonna go? Oh, that's pretty standard actually.
Zonanya ya.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of water, but it's not enough to
kenyang.
really change the
Aduh,
shape of the game.
OEC sulit nih lewatnya
It ends
kayaknya.
up playing,
At least
you know,
nggak ke Los
largely the
Leones
same,
lah,
but
masih
the
oke.
biggest thing for me is not so much the water, it takes out Los Leones.
Di depannya ada
So,
orang semua.
had that probably just gone a little bit more to the northwest,
ntar.
Los Leones would have been
Tuh
a
pada
factor,
nyelip
something
VIP
to kinda
one
keep
tap.
in mind, but
Kalp
that's not
mati
going to be the
lagi,
case.
cuman
And
satu
we see
game
these
dia
kind of circles quite
menang.
a lot, and as is the case with Miramar, a lot of terrain to play off of, a lot of hills,
Banget,
dips and
Bang.
valleys, lots of holes that you can play out
Oh,
of.
akhirnya ada perang.
Obviously getting pushed
Waduh,
in.
aduh, aduh, aduh.
Pentales
Hampir
just
ketemunya
walked
ketembak.
at
Drop!
one, but then immediately trained on. I'll talk about
Gagal
Slice.
sortir
Free
dikasih.
fire bang. Kiri lu. Kamar bang. Gue udah bilang ya kamar bang ya.
Threat kill.
Ya.
Hampir dong.
And in the end though,
Hampir
Titan
rata.
Foxy still get the job done because Ryan holds on to get the last kill onto Crazy Nine.
Kena begal nih.
That'll be the end of
Wak
the night
wow.
for Fandraocto Esports. It's
Ada bandit
very
di atasnya.
unfortunate second last place for them. Probably was not expecting them to be that low by the end of day one, but that is
Itu mobilnya nggak kebuka nih.
Iya kalau kebuka udah tahu kan. Jadi apa dia?
Driving past bandits who have
Jadi
had
apa?
a very miserable night.
Kata dia tadi
Averaging
hujan
just
apa ya?
1 point a game.
Lanjut lagi dia. Kagak peduli.
That is quite miserable, yeah.
Aduh,
When you
aduh,
put it
aduh,
like
aduh,
that,
banyak
when you
percaya.
say 1 point a game, doesn't reflect kindly on them. Oh, they're
Wup,
only 3 in the
one
same game as
call.
well.
Mendengar suara
Those last
tembakan.
games,
Lah
Trik
bandit
di sini.
bertiga.
It is
Bit
quite late.
gimana?
In New
Ini
Zealand, I
satu.
think that might be,
Boleh,
Iya.
kalau 3 boleh.
might be the
Nggak
reason
boleh
why.
2.
Either way, they're going to do their absolute best. They're a team that, I mean, they can definitely show up tomorrow. These
Trik,
guys
trik.
Kenapa nggak bisa
Trik penasaran
boleh dua?
nih.
and they're as capable as
Nggak
anyone
tahu.
else, right? So,
Biasanya gitu.
looking
Kalau
for
dua remake.
they're being
3.
eyed by one call, who's looking to extend their
Remake
lead.
atau-
Enggak, kalau remake
Point is not
10%.
good enough for one call. They want
Di-kick
a
dari
bigger
room.
lead than that,
Oke, oke.
especially when they were rocking a 20-point lead.
Soalnya udah pasti free kill gitu ya.
So
Kayak nggak respect
they're
gitu
also in
mungkin.
their head thinking, "Damn, we had
Main
that.
lu
Now we've
berdua
lost it."
doang
Trying
main
to-
ikut
trying to
turnamen.
recoup that lead. This is classic VIP. I mean, this is classic if you have 2 people alive, but this is
Ini
just
turnamen
this is
gede
what
mungkin ya,
VIP does.
turnamen
If
gede.
they had 4 alive right now, yeah,
Berdua
if they had 4
doang.
alive right now, I can almost guarantee you they'd be.
Mereka nggak
sat
peduli
buildings
itu
waiting for
koneksi
someone to
kalian
breach.
atau apa.
They will happily bait crash. Sometimes it works. I mean, most of the time actually it works out for VIP, but when it doesn't, it is quite disastrous.
Hujan subscribers, amin.
As for Classic Fury though, full control.
Udahlah,
towards
nanti
the
game
small
2
northern side
Talon
of the
versus
circle, just
Liquid
outside
nggak
Los
ikut
Leones,
Dota
caused
bang,
by
jadi
them
tidak
X.
tahu.
Remember, they came all the way from
Ini
Alpozo, so
yang
they've had a
main
long
apa yang
distance.
tahu PUBG sama Dota,
Exo clan,
abis
so
ini
they've got
nonton
no map
TI
control,
mereka tuh.
No real presence
Ada
inside
TI.
the circle, not even
Ada
inside the
TI,
circle,
iya,
to be
katanya
honest.
ada TI.
You can see them on
Kemarin
the
ada
minimap
tim
now,
Indo yang
making their way close
yang
by to
minta.
Fury, and this is such a
Kemarin ada
big
tim Indo
opportunity.
yang ditunggu
More so for
telat
Fury, they've
ditinggal.
got guns out, Exo
Udah pasti,
in
udah
vehicles,
kebiasaan
they won't be
anjing.
aware.
Tahu
They're
ngapa?
actually able to dodge this roadblock. Rip though, he might not be
Nih
able
bang,
to get
Indo
away.
tuh
Come on,
biasanya
one more chance,
turnamen
no.
nih.
Rip's
Dia
just able to
tusun,
make his way
udah
around
pasti
the
main
corner.
publik tai.
Gets
Main
down
tuh
the half
Sunhawk.
health, but survives nevertheless. Rip though crashes at a
Didatengin
very,
nanti Discordnya.
very
Oh iya iya
fast
bang, iya
call.
bang.
Nikus has got to land at least one shot with the
Kayak nggak
SR.
peduli ya.
Udah. Udah habis itu main lagi tuh sampai mati baru keluar, baru masuk room.
Siapa itu? Kau sebutin.
Klasik. Wah, banyak nggak tahu, banyak banget. Kemarin tim apa ya? Enggak hafal. Kemarin baru kejadian banget di turnamen asing itu. Begini. 15 tim nungguin dia doang. Main public coba.
Gak ada peduli-pedulinya anjing kayak gitu tuh maksud gua.
Lu turnamen udah nungguin gitu di lobby. Main public bang.
Kadang yang gitu-gitu tuh karena tahu nggak bakal juara. Jadi kayak sembarangan aja.
Main biasa doang. Anggap.
Jadi siapa tuh?
Gua nggak hafal namanya.
Emang nggak bisa? Bisa, cuman kan dari 4 orang yang main itu nggak ada yang peduli lobby up-nya kapan gitu loh guys. Kalau kayak gitu kan. Kecuali lu main nih, tapi kita peduli mantengin tuh. Kayak match start, lobby up jam segini misalkan. Enak, tapi kalau 4-4-nya nggak aware gimana?
Ada notif Discord, udah lobby up, leave me.
Gua aja lagi itu sama Okto selalu standby anjing.
Iya, Fanpage lagi pet ya.
Iya.
Closing in on the 15-minute mark for the final game of the night.
Itu udah kebiasaan banget.
Mungkin
besok kita turnamen bisa jadi ada yang begitu juga tuh.
Ada pasti. Orang-orang tai pokoknya skip gitu tuh. Nggak ada 10% remake tuh nggak ada. Nggak ada peraturan 10 menit remake nggak ada. 10% remake nggak ada. Pokoknya play.
5 menit start anjing.
Yang DC bodo amat.
Kimoy Nando nggak, gue tinggal.
Mau nge-crash pas di itu apa nyangkut di lobby bodo amat. Nggak ada remake.
Memperlama turnamennya makin lama jamnya. Satu game 40 menit udah 50 bisa. Nungguin orang-orang yang main public.
Absolutely dominant on Erangel, probably the best team on Erangel tonight. But the other maps they've not quite been able to have as much of an influence, and I think that's been clear.
Itu perlunya
itu
manajer
kebetulan
kayak
di tim ENC kemarin kena warning tuh 2. Cibirit, Amatrik, TDM. Telat masuk, warning 1.
Yang lain nggak ada ingetin.
Nggak tahu kalau itu. Nando biasanya berbahan kan, langsung berbahan biasanya match itu. Itu kayak Micun belum ada kayaknya.
Nah itu gunanya Micun ya.
Oh, saya nggak tahu. Itu, nah warning keduanya, trik ngefuck. Tahu nggak lu?
Tahu.
Dua warning.
Pas lagi disorot kan.
Iya Chicken, nggak sengaja jari tengahnya bang.
Nakal ini. Penalti 2 ya berarti itu ya poinnya.
Iya. Nggak tahu kalau poin.
Ada kalau
iya ada minus poin. Iya ada minus poin. Tapi nggak tahu kalau itu apa bukan. Ingat gue ya ada.
Tarik kakinya bandit.
Dapat 2. Ke N. Sisa 1 Brunando. Kejar Milah lah.
Oh langsung keluar Bit.
Kok DC semua?
Ya mati langsung keluar Bit.
Gak tahu dah. Pokoknya nicknya hilang tuh. DE itu keluar tuh lift tuh. Nicknya hilang. Internet issue.
Lagi turun di bawah guys. Pegel banget kaki gue nih.
Don't be like that.
Lesehan bang.
Lesehan dulu bang.
I know. But they need
Padahal
some
udah
hope,
dikasih
man.
schedule kapan create lobby sama start masih aja. Udah biasa itu bang. Jadi biasaan tahun awal Pubg up tuh udah mulai custom lobby udah pasti ada itu. Udah susah dihilangin.
Hopefully for their sake that can be on day 2.
Kalau nggak di lobby ya training camp lah, jangan public. Karena pasti bosen pasti mereka nunggu. Tapi begitu harusnya ada yang standby ngeliatin, wah lobby up, live. Ini kayak sampai waktu, wih DC. Ya dia juga mati.
Mampus. Rata nggak sih?
Rata
big
nih.
ramifications that could
Bunuh
come
dia,
from it. I'm not
Ele.
sure if they're going to be salvageable or not.
Tuh kan DC kan nyekek ke Mucel. Jalan terus tuh
Man,
ke
the
bukit.
Shirk has done so much damage to Fury. Niku is now making his way up there.
Oce lagi bermasalah jaringannya ya?
Maybe.
No
Oh,
way.
TD
they
dapat
actually
satu.
lose one off that. Devastating. Either way, the action will continue on this eastern side. Panic, they constantly prove me wrong with how they play the late games. I often get frustrated, but oftentimes it just works out. Fighting Foxy into between two teams. Panic being one of them, they'll happily take those couple kills. FTF will
Nice
finish them off.
from
And
TD.
now Panic have a little bit more time and space to work with. FTF actually knocked. This could be
Aduh, Edo.
Panic's signal to go. Although I don't know if that's the most ideal fight for them to take right now. That is a big threat. They do still
bisa
kill
baca
away.
komen
They
ya
know
kalau
that team
kejauhan
is
gini
weak
ya.
now. Did they get the res?
Dapat lagi satu.
Cal was flushed eventually.
Aduh, TD
weakening
kenok, Cok.
Nggak, tapi
Fury
threat.
quite a bit. They're in a decent spot as
Threat.
well. Just need to
Oh,
move
yeah.
a little bit more inside, then they can actually start playing the game.
Tapi
But
TD
right now,
jauh.
they're absolutely
Threat, bro.
pinned down. This is
Nggak ada yang
Panic as
backupin
well,
loh.
trying to make a move in. FTF at the
Aduh,
same
ke
time.
N,
So
Bang.
both these
Arinya
guys
kena
really
tembak.
time, gives them both space
Bomnya.
to
Dari
actually
HP ya,
take
guys,
this
ya.
fight on. I mean, both teams' terms really. That zone is not kind
Pakai
to
kaca
everyone
pembesar,
on
Bang.
Octo, including Fury. Look at EXO. Holy
Atau enggak kameranya lu
Yeah, and they have
zoom.
to work for that. So that's
Kamera
not a feed.
HP.
Remember, they were the last team to come in for Alpozo. They've had to work really hard. We saw the roadblock it lost the owners that they had to deal with from Fury. Rip almost basically slamming himself into a wall.
Tapi enak sih emang lesen kayak gini,
And
guys.
eventually they've just been
Yang
able to
D1
very
apa
quietly sneak
iya?
their way into a good position.
Woi!
Gibberit
Oh,
loses the battle closed by the pads up.
Apa yang terjadi tadi?
And that's a nice
Birit.
knockdown for Ken.
Kenapa
Obviously,
aja,
he's
Dek?
taking some damage as well
Banjar.
from that. Fury knocked by Patrick.
Aduh,
and suddenly for phase
ONC
5,
kejebak,
look at the
Bang.
kills. They've just started to line up the kill feed
Ya, lu
across
bawa
the
juga
map from
tuh.
all different areas.
Jauh dong.
North side, south side, central is kind of where it's a little bit quiet right now. EXO by themselves. Haika
Ya.
finished off by
Mampus,
Cherry.
Superman.
Itulah cukup ya.
So even 10
Masih bisa save deh itu.
getting involved with some
Oh,
good
ya.
angles
Oh,
to
ya.
Fury. They're down to just
ONC.
Nikus and Luke
Masih
12.
tapi
Not the
kejar
way
zona
Fury
gitu.
would have wanted
Harus
to end
keliling
the
cepat,
night.
perang cepat.
Looking to catch up to one call, catch up to Panic. Well, those two have been able to get some kills and actually
Besok
continue to
jam
bridge the
3
gap.
nobar
The likes
lagi
of
kita.
AAP are not too far away from actually overtaking Fury. Irrelevant. 8th place at the moment and just kind of away from that top 7, the proverbial top 7 that we labeled before coming into this game. You know, they're 14 points behind, down a player, but as the 8th place team, still able to make an impact and can have an impact on this lobby.
That's why I said they look like a threat. They're not just a throwaway O's team. They seem to know how to play it quite well. At least survive, and surviving's half the battle in a game like PUBG. Put yourself in a good spot. This is a zone where all the fighting happens on the edge, and we're seeing it. But eventually, as it gets smaller and smaller, all these teams are going to be forced to fight no matter what. The center is usually quite open, as evident by EXO's
Wah.
very wide split.
NC udah mulai
Getting to
naik-naik
the point
tuh.
where EXO is going to be pressured. They're going to be pushed to
Oh,
they're gonna
yang
need to
satu
make
lagi
choices. Right now, one call, they're stuck on edge. Right now, they're in. But they have a very important choice to
Namanya
make about
panik
how they
esport
cross
tapi
that
mereka
road,
main
how
kagak
they
ada
actually make that push
panik-paniknya.
to the rest of the circle.
Yang panik
Orang
kayak
lama,
biasanya
Bang.
dah.
Still surviving on this
Iya.
eastern side here. Yeah, they
Digigit
lost out on
ular
that
nih.
spot.
Berbisa
Look at the
ularnya.
info Nan has. Look at how much space is in front of them.
Ketemu
They can
sama
take it.
Aduh,
Now they're
FTF.
still free. They can kind of sit here
Malah Ridonya
with, 4
mati.
PDs and just rain
Tersisa
hellfire
Ari
onto
di
one
sini.
call.
Keluarkan
Stop a
jurus
very
alienmu Ari.
prime competitor
Inilah
from
saatnya.
doing anything in this game.
One man
I'm just
yang
interested
bisa
to
sampai
see
top 2.
whether
Nah,
EXO
ini biasanya
fall
orangnya.
apart with the amount of control they have, or whether they're
Ular
actually
berbisa
able to
kan?
hold it.
Yeah, can they consolidate the advantage that they've got right now?
Nggak
That's the
nyampe,
biggest
Bang, suaranya,
thing.
Bang.
So it's been a game where they've
Ular
had to really
berbisa
work
kah,
the
Bang?
map quite extensively. They've not
Hilang,
really been in a
Bang.
position where they can
Ular berbisa kah, Bang?
Ah, iya, betul, Bang.
Nice.
Harus digituin kayaknya.
Aduh,
Masa gua
ini
nggak
PC
ngomong?
ngebunuh Ari naik lagi nih dia ke atas nih.
Aduh, Arinya di situ, PC harus turun.
ONC aja kejepit.
It comes down to sort of the terrain
Knock
of
lagi, Trick.
buildings, and obviously of which there is no buildings in play here. Trick knocked by Fleaways, so
Lihat
4
ke atas
Piggies
nih.
able to continue
Airdrop.
to pepper
Berharap
towards
airdrop
one
turun.
ball. You said whether or not AAP you get involved in that, they're kind of turning their attention a little bit maybe towards
Banda,
Panic.
iya, Bang.
Same with Tenax. So Panic again finding themselves in a position where they're having to fight
Oh,
numerous
Ince sih
different
kejepit
parties.
banget
We
ya.
saw it back on Aaron Gold's
Kiri
side of
ada
that.
rak,
And for a team that's in
bawahnya ada
second place by just 1
4
point,
pick.
they've done a tremendous job tonight considering they've been in a lot of
Atasnya
fights.
sih yang susah.
Yeah, they absolutely have been phenomenal. I mean, silently consistent, right?
Pas
Almost like
kanannya.
Roman kill. And we saw those guys play very similar in game 1. It's
siapa
been
ke sana nih?
Pick.
up until Panic got
Ya
that
itu
dominant
for
win.
pick.
Here's Roman kill again. Made their way across the road. Now they have to
Oh,
defend.
ada mobil mereka,
from the
Cok.
likes of
Aman tuh.
Elephant. Coming from the north.
Biru tinggal tapi.
And down goes Ken, stolen away.
Wih,
This is
dapat
Irrelevant,
nyampah
making
Cimoy
that push.
lumayan.
Need to get this trade out.
Menambah
Doesn't even
pundi-pundi.
matter. Down to
Birit
the
juga
fight.
dapat.
Now the
Let's
Juan.
go.
One call helps from the background. Irrelevant
Bukannya
claim all that
tadi
space for themselves.
Cimoy cuman
Fantastically
menok.
played
Tuh,
so
lihat
far
Ari.
from them. And this is Panic.
Dapat
Four kills
instan
to
timnya.
Dusky as well. To Nax. They've survived.
Dia
Ari sih
nyampah
bisa-
tadi Cimoy.
Ari sih bisa narik satu orang sih lumayan.
Ari, kita belum.
Ketemu apa itu dia?
Perang. Aduh, Ari ketahuan. Dapat 2 tapi. Oke, kill 2 Ari. C1 Ri.
Tapi TNX yang dikill anjing sama Ari.
Iya. Nggak apa. Lu bunuh itu tim, dapat setidaknya dapat inilah, dapat space dia Mas Pet. Oh, udah ketahuan, dapat 2. Aduh, Nando kena. Nice.
Nah, ini saatnya ONC bersinar guys ya.
Boom. Ente for
Udah,
pick dari
udah enak
Indo.
tuh. For picknya udah nggak ada.
Itu sulitnya hari ini. Udah kejepit. Ketahuan udah. Semuk habis. Shit man. Semuknya udah mau habis. Dapat lagi semuk satu.
Masih ada satu.
Salut.
Dapat berapa? Nggak ada ya.
Belum.
Skornya sama nih, Beat.
Nando hidup bro.
It's been one of those scrappy games for Fury. Can they just, edge out a couple
Wah,
of points?
makin lari sih
Do a
dapat
lot
ya.
more of their better work tomorrow. Obviously playing
Tambah
behind
jauh
the
nih.
8 ball though in terms of one call and Panic. They will
nggak,
stay
Ari.
above AAP after
Oh,
they
jangan
got
panik
wiped by EXO,
susulan,
of
Cok.
which of course EXO have kind of been
Shit.
behind the 8 ball all night tonight.
Ayolah, di
now
satu biar
in a
Indo
good
lah,
position
PNC
to
lah.
Close the gap even more so to the likes of Fury. But it looks like top 2 are going to run away with day 1.
Let's go. Top
Yeah, I agree.
5.
EXO is certainly in a
Anjing,
position,
sebenarnya.
one of the positions of all time, as you ask me.
Kematian,
Stuck in a very
Aduh,
deep
ente, Ari.
crevasse in between Panic and one call.
Aduh, udah sulit banget ini.
Panic is
Ente
fighting,
Ri.
trying to clear all their threats on their edge, which they've done beautifully tonight,
Quicknya kena.
to their credit. Not being passive.
Total
This is
berapa
not
game
the
malam
I'm used
ini?
to seeing, but I'm
Ini
loving
udah last
seeing
game
it.
bang, 6
EXO
game.
now has to
6
get a
match
little bit
doang.
aggressive.
Lanjut
As you
besok
can
jam
see,
3.
Vincent,
Aduh,
as soon as
Birit
they
sama
peak
Trik.
up, one of these two teams
Aduh.
is going to start
Oh,
shooting at them.
aman-aman masih bisa di
Treknya
revive.
mati.
Maybe they just kind of have to sit down here and do
Nah,
nothing
Trik
and wait for
instan.
everyone else
Oh,
to
iya.
engage and fight each other, and then they can get more placement points, and then maybe pick their head up when a big
Cimoynya
44
kena.
pops off or something like that. Luke is in a decent
Mana
position.
belum bangun-
Something
mana
done.
belum bangun
Still in zone,
lagi.
I believe. He's
Iya.
got to move a few feet in front of him, and he should be fine. He's in it for potentially a top 4.
Pamit mandi dulu Mas Kamsa,
Even
Mas
then,
Kamsa.
I don't know
Bener-bener
how many
liat
teams
biji.
I see dying in this next zone.
Kan lu yang ngomongin makanya
just
jadi
a
Mas Gali.
finally gone and done some of the
Terima kasih
calculations.
sudah menonton, Mas
If things stay
Gali.
as they are, Panic 1 call 2 and Fury 3. Panic
Wih,
go to
darahnya
PGC.
1 bro.
Oh my
Birit,
God.
darahnya 1 Birit.
Yeah, it
Kirimu
should
Birit.
pick up nicely for them. They've
Nggak
got a
bisa,
lot
Beat
of
kena
work to do
bokong
still.
depan belakang,
Two more-
gimana?
2 more full days of action.
Flagnya nggak tahu.
Let's not get too ahead of
Loh,
ourselves, but
loh,
it is a
loh.
possibility.
Kok beda nama timnya nih?
Something that's definitely needed
Yang
to be
bunuh gua,
calculated. Chip
kata
Roy
flag.
just barely wins that one against Blessed. Barely.
Ah,
But there's some very bare margins and one call have done it.
Aduh, jangan
Kena,
sampah.
kena
Just
Birit.
edging out a couple more kills to close this game out.
Sampah
Finally,
lagi
they
satu
are
kill Birit.
eliminated in fifth
Ente.
position, down to our top 4, Fury of which have
Lumayan
been
lah
able
ya.
to sneak in
Rank
some
2,
very valuable
D1.
placement points, Russell, because they looked
Dapat apa?
dead and
Slot.
gone. But Luke 12 on the
Belum,
eastern
D1
side,
pasti kan?
western side,
Oh
by
iya, D1.
himself, has just managed to hold on. And I think there's a fair world in which he
Masih ada
actually
2 hari
outlives
lagi.
Irrelevant.
He honestly could get a top 2.
Wah,
here.
anjing ini
If we're
ngantuk
being
banget deh.
real. Maybe not too real. But he's in the zone. He's in the
Ini gua
zone.
udah
And
rebahan,
you know
Ben.
Luke is not a player
Wah,
to
anjing.
just give up his life like that.
Shoehorse.
That's good. Speaking of giving up
Itu
his life,
satu orang ditembak
been
4
too
orang
exposed on
kayaknya.
the ridge. That's
Langsung
given an
jatuh.
advantage to Panic. The team you
Hilang,
don't
bro.
want to give an
Keren.
advantage to right now because they'll absolutely take it. You can see them mobile on the top of this ridge. If they can peek down, I think they can actually just get rid of EXO completely. But they know Irrelevant's still alive as well. Now the flex has gone down to the zone. It probably gives them more motivation
They're going to win this.
to rear their heads. Yeah, they are probably going to win this one. Too much space, too much momentum,
Bisa
really.
chicken
11
lagi sini,
kills to
Pi.
their name.
Panik.
one's fighting them.
Janganlah, tapi
It's just
makin
souls
jauh
alive
nanti
too,
poinnya.
basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. No one's able to fight them.
Bangun
Yeah,
tuh.
Irrelevant are just barely
Sabar,
trying to
Bang.
keep one player alive. Luke 12 is obviously in a position where he knows he can't peek out. As soon as that ridge is exposed, he's dead. And then you got the duo of ExoClan that, well, they're a duo. They can only do so much, like Ida or Monty. Yeah. But to be fair, they're the only ones, I think, out of all the teams remaining that have any semblance of a chance of making something happen. Look at Luke. He basically dies there. He doesn't move. If Luke's smart, of which we know he is,
aku kembali.
Doesn't give them anything.
Musuh terlihat.
Hope that he can stay there long enough that he gets third or second. But if he gets up, he dies, and he should be well and truly aware of that. Unless he goes for it. Maybe he since you've been in this position before, you hear the shots going out, and you just think maybe there's a chance. If they start fighting, I can get up and move a little closer to the zone.
But Panic are lasered in on him right now. I don't think that's going to be the case for Luke 12 as much as I want it to be.
Isi galon sekarang.
Panic are way too zoned in on what they need to do. Luke is a threat. Don't get it wrong, he's a solo, yeah, but he is absolutely a threat.
It's a free kill too. It's a free kill too.
Matiin nih orang, matiin.
And then that's why they're really honed on in him. And they've got the 4. They're playing close by. Panic again.
Di atas 10, 2 match cok nih orang.
Of Miramar. So yeah, there's not much more Luke can do here. He's probably just a little bit annoyed.
Kopi dulu ada masih di kulkas. Besok bro.
Playing it perfectly.
Emang enak ya BT dibesokin?
Yeah, exactly.
Enak bang.
Apa dibesokin?
Poin kopi.
Kopi.
Kan yang frappe bukan?
Bukan dong.
Kalau yang frappe nggak enak.
Mati kesundut.
Beuh.
Kopi apaan? Kopi susu.
Poin kopi merek
tapi
yang
banyak
di
ada. Lu tahu poin kopi yang ada kulkas kecil itu kan? Tahu? Nah itu dalam situ yang botolan itu.
Oh, gua kira yang kapan bro?
Enggak, itu mah masih oke lah buat ini sih face-nya
18.000 satunya.
Botol hijau itu kan?
Gua beli biasanya. Hijau.
Botolnya hijau.
They are gonna shoot whoever picks first,
Hitam.
right? It doesn't matter if it's a
hitam
beda, beda kota beda.
Enggak sih, gua udah nggak pernah beli masalahnya.
18.000 satu kayak. Gua beli 5. Yang apa? Kadaluarsanya lama.
Pokoknya kalau udah nggak enak tuh agak asem bit rasanya. Hati-hati dah. Itu asam lambung biasanya.
Tuh, soalnya mereka nulis tanggal di situ tuh.
Iya iya. Tapi kan kerasa bit walaupun tanggalnya masih ada jarak, tapi kalau udah ada agak asam dikit tuh aneh tuh.
Aduh, chicken lagi bang dia bang. Makin jauh poinnya. Makin jauh.
Tapi pensi ini nggak punya ini kan? Nggak punya poin PGC kan?
Nggak ada, tapi kan one course butuh poin dari rank 1 biar banyak poinnya.
Ya apa kasih dulu aja anjing.
Ada deh.
Kasih dulu.
Pensi. Oh ada toh, ada. Oh bisa juga dia.
Iya kan?
Ada tuh rank 5 dia di bawahan Kolpas.
Ya elah.
Oh shit man. Ada kemungkinan juga.
Lu ngeceknya di mana sih di turnamen PUBG PGC?
Lu buka PCR-nya.
Ya. Udah.
Nanti yang ada
Global
dari
Champion.
prize pool itu PGC point tuh.
Ya,
Di
oh.
prize pool.
Buat buka tab
Itu
baru.
poin-poinnya.
They were not on my bingo card. I'll be honest with you.
Iya anjing beda 60 doang bit.
They would just kind of crumble in a lobby like this, but they're not playing.
Soalnya rank 1 itu 800 poin tuh.
Yang dipilih rank 1, 2, 3 atau satu aja? Oh iya satu doang anjing.
Hijaunya tuh.
Hijaunya. Anjing.
Dia PGC.
Tambah 800 men.
To these end games, top 5 in 5 of 6 games tonight.
Day pertama top 2 it's okay. Masih bisa, masih 2 hari lagi. Ada tabungan.
$2,000 lagi bit rank 1.
PGC. Harus dukung $2,000. Iya. Iya, tapi cairnya
Mr. Las makasih udah join.
Depan,
oh gitu.
Iya bang.
Seret ya.
3 bulan lagi.
they can continue at
Ini
this
kita lihat
level.
ya,
The
streak.
real question is not them, it's everyone else. AAP,
Gua mau
Fury,
ngeliat
EXO,
siapa
One Call,
megang
Indihome
user
Esport,
terbanyak.
anjing ada Indihome Esport.
and maybe put the pressure on
Ada
Panic.
tuh
I'll have to
Jakarta
say,
tuh
Russell,
offline.
I'll get your final thoughts, of course, as we look to
Itu yang
close things
juara
out for day
Aero
one.
Wolf.
I mean, what a
Zamannya
beautiful
Rian
night
ya?
of PUBG. This is an APAC
Nggak ada
region
Rian.
that I think
Oh, belum
is
ada.
Itu yang main
entirely
Sinyo, Ko Andre,
revitalized
Rido.
from days in the past.
Satu
In
lagi
the
siapa
past,
ya?
it was chaotic. It was all over the place, but now these
Lupa
teams
gua
are
satu
playing like everything matters.
Enter
Like,
bukan
Soalnya gua
Enter.
dateng
there
itu.
are actually things on the
Beda,
line,
beda
and we're
tim.
getting
Beda.
better
Beda
entertainment
Aero.
because of it. We're seeing AAP, we're seeing all these APAC teams,
Teki,
and we usually
teki,
just
seperti
send it
teki-teki,
and die
man.
for no reason. We're getting quality PUBG
Player
out of them,
stats.
and it's yeah, I'm loving
Kill.
it. It's fantastic to see.
Dipegang
I thought
oleh
this was
Trick,
gonna be a
bro,
banger,
MVP.
but, tonight exceeded my expectations. So yeah, going into the next two
Yeah.
nights,
Kill
I'm
19.
on cloud nine.
2500 the
Philippines,
make.
Australia, all
Anjing.
controlling teams in and
Cik.
around the top
Terik
three.
nih, Dek.
It's beautiful to see, and
Tapi
obviously
D1 ya?
a really great way to start day
D1.
one for PCR.
Semoga
Lihat Nando
stabil.
tuh.
Yes,
Oh, lihat
congratulations to
Nando
Panic in day one, but guess
boleh.
what? You don't get anything
Nando
after
nih,
finishing
Dek.
first after day one. They need
Apa
to
lu
continue
Nih,
lihat
Nando
baca
nih.
nama ya?
or not they can.
Lucu
We'll see
mukanya.
whether or not AAP, can they bounce back? It's been a bit
Masih
Bisa
muda ya?
pencet nama mereka.
Fury,
Bisa lah.
bit shaky, Exo Clan.
Tadi kan ngeselin mukanya ya kan.
They can go to one call were great tonight, not too far behind, but for
Roll Fragger
Panic,
katanya.
is at the conclusion
Lu buka
of
di mana tuh?
day one. We will return
Di
tomorrow,
Wikipedia, bro.
PCR2 day number 2. We hope to see you there.
Fernando
Started
anjay.
off with an absolute banger, had probably the most competitive lobby.
Alternatif ID Mipan Zuzuzu, nice.
FTF.
Nih, Nando guys.
Iya, oh biru bro namanya mereka. Wih,
Tadi PCR season 3 2022 top 1 ya si Truk ya.
PCR berapa?
Oh iya, tim extraordinary waktu itu ya. Kok gue lupa ya.
PCR apa tuh?
Yang season 3 2022
Oh ini.
top 1. Tim extraordinary.
Top 1 yang mana? Mas,
Trik.
Sabar.
Trik. Ah,
Trik,
Trik.
PCR. Oh ini sih. Oh iya benar. Gua malah yang atasnya.
Nice.
Ngantuk bang.
Streamer ngantuk
Oh ini yang Daniel MVP yang kami ceng-cengin mulu.
Oh, coba Cibirit ya. Dia Cibirit terus ada PNC-nya, guys.
Hah? Enggak.
Cibirit.
Enggak ada.
TD ya.
TD.
dia yang ada.
TD Daniel.
Nah, PNC rank 15 $10.000. Lumayan banget ya.
Cair bang. Rido cok. Masih merah namanya. Ganti nick deh.
Anjing TD setiap turnamen gak ada duitnya deh, ini kenapa ya? Kasihan banget aja. Setiap juara gak ada duit.
Mana?
TD anjing. Ada yang juara satu kagak ada duit. Kalau Cibirit lumayan ada nih. 5.000, 3.000.
Oh ada tuh, tapi emang nggak
5.000.
diupdate Wikipedia.
Iya, nggak masuk. Gila PCS sih Apak dulu gede ya duitnya ya ternyata ya.
Gila
Lihat,
bro.
lihat. Predator League Apak 37.500
Hamsa mana, Bit?
anjing.
Ada gua bro.
Nggak live dah ini dah.
Tidur bro.
Eagle nih deh.
Kalau dipaksa enak
Tuh,
juga
morbid
kagak enak anjing dilihat sama viewer tuh muka lu tuh
Ngantuk ya
kayak-
karena.
Iya.
Kecuali game-gamenya kayak yang kemarin
Oh,
Pet
ini.
yang bikin lemes.
Iya.
Mungkin bisa
ya.
tuh.
Gitu.
Mana ya?
Cibirit
Tuh
terus.
gua bikin.
Kemarin tuh pas sudahan itu tuh Wah anjing. Merdeka banget.
Paneng. Apaan? Melepas aja.
Iya langsung bener-bener blok tidur gua.
Lo nggak nyangka Nando begitu katanya. Anjing kenapa? Kesannya jahat nih Nando. Ini. Mukanya masih bocah banget. Ini
Muka-muka
dia.
ini ya.
2019 kayak deh ini.
Garang-garang pro player.
Gak ada garang. Lu lihat muka Nando pet masalahnya.
Iya tahu gak. Jadi muka setelannya tuh kayak garang-garang pro player gitu
Iya
toh.
biasa. Yang kudu
Lipet
no senyum
tangan.
gitu kan sih.
Ya, lipet tangan.
Gak ada Papua-puanya. Malah kayak apa ya jujur diterusin gak sih? Kayak apa tuh? Tapi dia bukan alumni 98 guys sayangnya. Ini FTF perjalanan karirnya ya.
Berjalan
Dan
membawa.
membawamu. Yang bagus perjalanan tuh sebenarnya Victim Race sama Eagle guys. Victim Race tuh lumayan banyak tuh. PIS Indo juara 1 sering.
Peace.
Cuman sayangnya sebentar ya. Victim Race itu. Oke. Thank you guys yang udah nonton ya.
Oke.
Kita ketemu lagi di Day 2 di Morbid ya. Day 2. Gue bisa kondangan lagi, makanya gue nggak bisa live sampai pagi guys. Jam setengah berapa?
Kondangan kemana?
Kondangan. Hadirin acara ulang tahun kawan bro. Anaknya tapi bapak-bapaknya menongkrong anjing. Ingat guys.
OPM hari Sabtu jam 10 ya bang.
Nah. Guys, thank you yang sudah nonton. Thank you yang sudah like, yang udah subscribe. Makasih banyak. Kita lanjut di TikTok. Kita farming di TikTok. Dan jangan lupa besok ada
OPM hari Sabtu jam 10 ya bang.
Nah, itu dia ya. Thank you guys. See you on TikTok, tanda seru TikTok. Atau cek aja langsung ke TikToknya Fandra Octora. Maka akan menemukan saya akan farming kentut ya. Farming kentutnya gimana? Yang begini guys. Makasih guys. Thank you.